Oh, baby, cry about my nuggets. Get lying to my nuggets. Oh.
I cannot lie to my nuggets.
We've been drying on my
You
nuggets.
guys.
My heart's alive for my nuggets, yeah.
Ooh, trying
My heart's
with
alive
nuggets.
for my nuggets.
I
That's a
die
good
and drive with
song.
my nuggets. Drive and die for my nuggets.
Drive and die for my
Ride or
nuggets.
die for my nuggets. Yeah. Don't baby lie about my nuggets. Oh,
Don't you dare lie about my nuggets.
why you be crying about my nuggets? Yeah.
I take great pride in my nuggets. Oh, shit. I take great pride in my nuggets, yeah.
Yeah. That audio
Yeah.
test though. Catching us on the tubies.
I can't hear me, but I can, like, think I hear stuff.
Oh, I don't have your headphones up.
Oh. No, go ahead.
Do-do.
Baby,
You guys,
yeah,
here on
my
the
nuggets.
Greasy Conversation
Yep.
talk show feed, we're preparing to get lively. Let's make sure that we're
Blast off.
This is the Radio Vegas live feeds. Be sure to mention RadioVegas.live. Rocks. Live.
Radio
We're live.
Vegas.
RadioVegas.rocks is who you mention to our sponsors when you're trying to get them to give you stuff regarding us.
And your friends
And your family.
and people you don't even know.
Strangers
Friends,
on the
family, YouTube.
Yeah,
Might
man.
be a little hot. No, here we go.
Share it in the comments. Comment.
Yeah, tell us your life story.
I'm in
Don't
love
do-
right now, you guys.
Just start
I'm
typing.
enamored.
Just
Do like
type it.
half your life story.
Yeah.
Half of it.
You guys, this is the last show of the year.
Yep.
No way.
That's correct. Here.
True.
Baby way?
High five me about it. Baby way.
Baby way.
Baby way, you guys. One more. Up high. Yeah, look at these preacher hands on a stick.
Yeah, man.
What do you do with them?
I
What
don't
don't
know.
you do with them?
Hey,
Exactly.
let's bring up the band. Have the band really turn up over there, Jackson. All right, Jimmy and Jason over there. These are just names that start with J. Now, oop, that was the backwards one, huh? This has got weird applause. Yeah, little. Hey, Brian,
What's up?
how you doing?
Hey!
So, it's the thing where we talk to you, and ideally we all discuss things. And I cut off the music abruptly without really fading it very much.
Yeah.
And we're hanging out with the three wise men over here. For the audio listeners, I'm petting Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. and of course
my
old
God.
Frankie. You know Frankie.
Is that the Rat Pack or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are the Rat Pack. Yeah.
They are the Rat Pack.
All right, I got my Kicker headphones on. You guys, Kicker, they make headphones too. Did you know? They're Bluetooth. They've got really narrow panel gaps. I think is missing from their marketing and should be part of it because that's pro, right? When you don't feel panel gaps.
Dude, I'm wearing these headphones. I don't even feel like I'm wearing headphones. I feel like I'm in the room with you, and I am in the room with you, but I'm also in the room with you with headphones.
Right.
And I can hear you
And
perfectly.
the craziest thing is they haven't broken yet. Every pair of headphones we got from Kicker, and
That's the real miracle right there. That's how
FCC
you know it's solid headphones.
required mention. They are a sponsor, but they just gave us headphones,
No
and
way.
they're getting all kinds of sponsorship beyond what you usually get from that because the dang things won't die, and we're not careful with them.
Yeah.
Nor are we careful with the bullfrog. This guy, this cowbell-looking fella, is a Bluetooth speaker. Sorry to be
Kicker?
like, I hate to be ad heavy in the beginning. I'm just psyched.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season. I think we need to make Christmas a little bit more commercial because that's part of what makes
That's the monster, dude.
it's what makes Halloween great. There's no
Yeah.
qualms about Halloween. We're not serious about the devil. So
Yeah.
why we get so serious about Christmas? Let's love each other, be friends, buy stuff for each other, spend
Yes.
time with each other broke.
Yes.
Steal each other's money. But this Kicker speaker is waterproof. You can dunk it in there. The lids are covered. You can charge your
Dope.
crap with it. It's loud and good.
Dope.
And Kicker is going to deliver the bass. Feel how much it weighs, though. That's
That's light.
I
It's a
But you
little-
could
There's
mean,
there's a
It's a
mic stand
cowbell
on it.
weight.
Yeah.
It's a cowbell plus
It's
a
light
cowbell.
enough to carry around. It's heavy enough to have that base because you have to have some mass
Kinda, like,
to have
pump it.
momentum.
and for
with
like
base.
self-defense though too. Like if you're just, if that crazy dude, you just brain him in the woods. Just give him the old wackadoo.
Fucking-
Brain 'em.
Here,
Yeah.
try it out.
Whoa.
Just fucking brain somebody,
Yeah,
man.
try it
That's-
out, you guys.
That's my other name is
Try it out.
Brain. So just
that's
brain
what-
him.
Yeah, just brain him. Yeah.
200
Barnum.
Just give
pounds.
him the old brain.
Barnum and Bailey. I'm
Give
just
him the old brain, man.
anyway. Okay, you guys.
All right.
Happy holidays.
No.
Happy
It's
obscure
Hanukkah,
holidays.
right? It's Hanukkah. Still, isn't it?
Sure.
Is it? No.
Yeah.
Am I
Maybe.
bad? Do you not know? I don't know either.
We're all terrible.
I've heard.
Why did I bring it up? No. Okay.
I've heard from some of my favorite friends that
I've heard
yes,
of a
we are in
couple of
Hanukkah
my-
right now.
Yeah, my Jewish friends say it's Hanukkah-ish
Yeah.
time.
That's the best way to put that.
I believe them too. They're good people.
It's the season.
Yeah,
So
to be jolly.
this is a Mallow heavy news one. We've got a couple Ange newsies, maybe one or two of mine, but like credit where the reporting is due. We got some strong Mallows today, you guys.
I just picked out headlines that were funny, I think. But let's do it. All right. First one. Russia unveiled the most advanced robot.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
a sex robot.
That
No.
Russia has ever done, or like,
Good.
is there
No,
some standard?
it was hailed as the most advanced robot created thus far. Turns out though, it was just a dude in a robot costume.
No!
Recently
It's
they do
Butters.
this.
It's
so-
South
Yeah,
Park.
like
South
fucking
Park did
Osimo.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Osimo, dude.
Yeah, they totally ripped off fucking
Alright.
South Park.
They did, fuckers, dude. They're fucking Russians.
And it was at some some conference and said to be built by this team of students.
I am Osimo.
Yeah, exactly, right. And but then everyone at first everyone was like, "Oh, this is amazing, bro." And then some of the videos of him dancing, like it totally is not like a robot.
He's doing
dancing.
the robot. He's doing the robot.
Does the robot go?
Dude, you gave yourself away.
Like that, the
Here
guy
in
with the
my
crazy
car.
silver skull thing that like his singing has like extra tongue in it.
Yeah.
That's Russian.
It's an
Oh,
extra
that dude.
tone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can't
There's,
remember
like,
his
The
name. I know
robot
you're-
does that action.
It'd be
Yeah, that
creepy
dude.
if you made a skull that like sang in fifths. It added a fifth or a third or whatever the fuck you add to make it sound weird.
That would be awesome.
You know
Well,
what I'm talking about.
he's modulating his volume, I think.
Oh yeah, is that what it is?
I'm gonna say that to make it sound smarter.
Modulating is a good word. So yeah, that was in the news. They
Vitus, Vitas.
Vetus, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Or
the robot.
Vitus.
No, this
It's
robot.
Vetus.
This robot was named
That's the name of the singer, not the robot.
Boris. This robot was just named Boris.
Boris.
Yeah.
That was the name of my pig. I had a pig and it was named Boris.
Yeah?
Yeah, after the band. It was a
Oh,
good
nice.
band,
Yeah, yeah.
Too. Yeah.
But no, so people thought something was weird because like if you see like humanoid robots, usually the limbs are very tiny, like
Yeah,
skinny. So
skinny.
a human
Like a
couldn't fit in
suit.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then so this dude, it was a very bulky looking robot that you could totally suspect
Like
a human
buff.
fitting in. And then eventually there were some pictures that popped up around Twitter where at the angle you could see the neckline wasn't tight for the costume, so you could see like the human neck in
You
there.
done fucked up. Dude.
Yeah, like it's just like
So that's that panel gap will get you
That's
every
that
time.
human
That's
error,
what happens when
dude.
you have bad panel gaps.
That's
Yeah.
the human error in all of this and
Yeah.
AI. Like we can't do it, dude. We're humans. Like fucking stop trying.
Well,
What?
oh, yeah,
I'm
we're-
just kidding.
we
No,
can't-
I'm sorry. It'll be cool.
I just think it's like Russia always pretending they're like, yeah, we've got all the nukes. We could totally blow up
Dude,
everything.
RoboCop, man. I saw a remake of that where it was. A
Oh yeah,
different
I haven't
director.
seen the new one.
Have
the
you
remake.
have you seen the no, not the new remake, but it was a while ago, like 2007ish,
Mm-hmm.
that era, and it's like a different director every like 5 minutes, and it's really interesting. It's
Oh.
all of RoboCop, but how it actually happens, but it's humorous. It's I don't know. Let's try to find that out.
I was gonna
It's really-
say we just need a Korean RoboCop
dude,
because
Yo,
it'd
they
be smarter.
would
You
know
guys
how
never
to
saw
get it
RoboCop
right.
3,
No.
where the Japanese developed their own Robo Samurai, who was like a humanoid
no.
samurai, and RoboCop had to fight him, and he had like a jetpack and shit. Shit is off the chain, dog.
That's great. That sounds
All right,
actually
so I
good.
should watch RoboCop 3, but not RoboCop 2, because I'm weary about.
Oh no, RoboCop 2 is legit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, I love the first one when it's just like the meeting and he's like, "Fuck you guys," and he shoots them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The robot. And
I
it's
think
like,
in the second
yes.
one he like kind of goes crazy.
So B movie.
But there's also
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
Yeah, in the second one there's like this drug dealer kingpin
Yeah.
who like who RoboCop like just fucking obliterates him and his
For
whole gang.
karma. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
He's a
the
robot.
people who made RoboCop take the drug dealer's brain and they're like, we're gonna put him in this giant fucking war robot as the
yeah,
new
you are.
Yeah, and then
Oh
like
yeah, because we want a drug dealer.
yeah, we just want some like drug dealer brain and a giant killer robot.
Maybe it was
No,
convenient.
It's
like
rad.
it's a free brain.
I mean, if you like RoboCop, you'll do RoboCop
Dude,
2. RoboCop
I'll-
3 is like pure camp, but
I'm watching him now.
yeah,
I
have
am.
to.
Thank you, Greg.
Back to back to back. Got to do it.
Appreciate that.
They're made by Russians.
Murphy. No.
It's crazy because I was thinking really intimately about RoboCop like early today. Early
it's-
today. Not just like about. I just
You had a
like how the-
premonition.
you know, you've got to deal with this robot body and thinking about his eyes.
And you're a
staring
cop,
off at-
too.
yeah.
You're a cop too, and you have that 1,000-yard stare because you're thinking about all the fucking crime you deal with and the murders you've seen, and like.
Yeah, why is a prototype being used for that? Like
Yeah,
you'd
like-
think everyone would have like a lot of robot bodies with the works
And
shaped
we'd
out
have
of
like
them.
psychology going in the robot field.
Yeah, you don't
you
have
know,
like experimental cars as like cop cars. It's like an old tried and true car that you know
What's
you can
that
get parts
sh-
for and stuff. That's what a police force usually gets.
What's that show on HBO that's like all robots and they like people now they remember shit? You know what it is.
Westworld, man.
Westworld.
Yo, that show
Dude,
is
Samurai
fucking
World,
legit.
The second one, have you seen
I haven't
it?
seen season
I
2
haven't
yet,
either.
dude.
I
Oh,
haven't
man.
watched it. I'm like, I forget the first one, but I remember the first one. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's
It's
That
great
show
when
is
a
legit.
Yeah, it's great when a show makes you go, what?
yeah.
Really? What?
I'm waiting on that one because I know I'll approach it addictively.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So I've
watch
got
it.
to
It's definitely
prepare.
like a binge show
Yeah.
for sure.
It's good. And then you gotta rewatch it a second time to notice all the bullshit you didn't notice from the first time that you didn't know because you didn't watch enough.
Yeah, there was
You know
that.
what I
There's
mean?
probably a lot of that. Like there was they did an ad for season 2, and someone noticed in the ad that there like on one of the walls there was like a back shadow,
Yeah.
and it was barcode, and so they like decoded the barcode,
Oh my
and it
God.
was a URL that took them to a website
Yes.
that had like information about season 2, like this weird like video or some shit
That's so dope.
that someone could,
Oh,
like
I
just
love
found, like
stuff
all the
like
little
that
Easter
so
eggs like
much.
that. Yeah, it's gnarly.
One thing, I remember when Nine Inch Nails did that. They dropped like a USB in a German bathroom at a club, and it was like a new song. And he's like, "There's a new song out there," and they like leaked it. And the person who found the USB had to know it was Nine Inch Nails and like leak it. He's like, "Leak it, please, whoever finds it." And it's just really cool how like
But that worked.
yeah,
How many
because that's
German
marketing
bathrooms,
nowadays.
though?
I don't know, like 4. Like
Oh,
in
okay, I was
Europe,
gonna say that
like,
couldn't be like first try.
Germany had one. I just remember the German one for some reason. It's maybe the Shiza. I don't know.
See, I did that with just one bathroom, and that's why on Spotify, where there's
Did
like
you?
no listens on our album, no one
Which
knows.
bathroom?
I don't even remember.
Hard hat, you're fucked.
Yeah.
There's only cokeheads in it.
Sorry, hard hat. No, I like hard hat.
I love. I
Let's
go
talk
there
about
all the
Huntridge
time.
instead. No.
I went there the other night and that was kind of weak, but I loved it. It's a sad bar. Huntridge is like sad to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Let's.
I like it though.
You gotta have the sad bars, man.
I gotta stinger us away from this.
All right, you're good. I'm sorry. All right, we gotta dive in this. I know everyone's all tired about politics, like
Or-
fucking exhausted.
I was
I'm
talking
sure.
shit on local bars.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so the
The
headline.
Trouts, though, I love the Trouts. Anything the Trouts do, good job. I'm happy with what they did for downtown. Shout out Trouts. Okay, move on.
All right,
Yeah.
so this headline is just great. Trump got Mexico to pay for the wall by simply changing the meaning of pay and Mexico.
How do you say what? Okay.
No, it's just
This
it's
is the
just like
part.
illustrating like the idea of like just saying you did something is good enough now. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to have actually done stuff. You
It's
can
a
just
headline. I have a new EP. You don't know that you didn't listen to the EP, but you know that you like respect that.
yeah,
For some
and
reason.
you could say you
You're
could
like,
you could
"Fuck
say
yeah."
like, oh, I just released the best EP of all time.
Yeah, and people are like, "Cool, dude. Fuck yeah."
Yeah,
Brian,
right? Yeah.
Greg, like, dude, congrats.
Right.
Is that literally the thing? Like they're saying that
Well, I think it's
Dude.
more about like this particular administration.
So Russia has been the two headlines so far. Let me just the whole Russia thing and the president thing. Like, what the is our president? Entertainment star turned Russian spy turned president of our fucking country.
I think spy is so generous.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like calling
He's
a
a
shill a
dumbass.
spy.
Yeah, he's like third party.
It's like calling Carson Daly a spy.
I think it's more.
That was good.
I think it's more. He's just been involved with shady Russian deals for a long time, and it's now that he's in like the biggest fucking spotlight you can be in, that it's catching
Limelight
up to
plus
him.
some.
Yeah, you know that. You know,
It's
I don't-
probably less fun than he anticipated.
His fucking guy is in jail, dude. In
a lot of
prison.
them are going to jail.
And he's next. Like, you know it because it's because of shit he did, right?
Well,
Like,
Mueller.
can we say that he's going to jail?
Well, it seems like the investigation
certainly a possibility.
It's getting near the end of the investigation. A lot of it say because you rarely close up things with a witness and sentence a witness.
God.
Say a witness.
A witness.
Say they've gotten like their plea deal and stuff. You want to squeeze all the confessions and statements out you can before you give them their sentence, because you want to
Yeah.
threaten them with a worse sentence if they don't participate as much.
Yeah.
So they haven't been to trial much. Took a lot of records that they exchanged for their current.
And we don't
sentence.
know that.
We don't
stuff.
know.
We don't
what
know-
they
yeah,
do.
we don't
Dude,
know what the
this
records
shit
are.
is dark, man. I have a feeling
We're at the
that-
cusp of something
that-
very interesting.
Yes, and in America, like, we are, you know, that whole like Pangea thing, like, oh, one government, like, you know, like
globalism.
basically Illuminati, yeah, like globalism.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like we're heading. I don't know.
Well, I feel like a
'Cause
certain
America
amount of globalism is inevitable and necessary. There's things we gotta all agree on. No country is just gonna let like murder be legal. For
Bro,
example.
we're too fucking populated.
Well, there's.
We have too many people. We need to come together.
I disagree
Because we're all
there's
migrating.
Well,
It's like-
we're migrating to cities to pool resources.
Yeah, and now there's like too much of us in one place.
But
Now that
when
place is
we
gonna be
pool,
fucked.
when
and
we
that place is
pool
gonna be fucked.
resources,
Yeah.
we are less fucked because
Okay.
of synergy.
Yes.
When you have two horses pulling a
Definitely.
cart, it's almost 3 worth of power.
That's
when you
great,
strap two
Was.
2x4s together, it's almost 3 2x4s worth of strength in a building.
You just changed my perspective
Well,
on
that's
like
how cities
immigration
work.
and shit.
Well, it's in our lifetime that the size of people living in cities has surpassed people living outside of cities.
Yeah.
But the problem is cities were designed for the automobile
people.
in a lot of cases in America, and we
Yeah.
have to kind of roll that back and
Yeah.
reduce the dependency on that so we can use some of this space for people more.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, cars are made for traveling distances quickly. They're
Now
not. They're
we're
not the
holding
best
us up.
transportation for cities. Yeah. So cities were.
We
a lot,
have all these cars from like the 90s that are
Yeah.
just bad.
well a proper
It's terrible.
a proper city well put together is good for
Right.
everybody, and everything is cheaper to live and easier and uses less resources when a city's put together right. But
Well-
our cities are so in transition that it's hard to believe that. And it's easy to think that there's too many people on the earth when really there's more than enough resources for everybody 4 times over.
Oh, but
it's just
somebody
not
owns it
distributed
all.
well.
Yeah, somebody owns it
Yeah.
all.
So a little bit
Okay,
of
Nestle.
redistribution. I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
A tiny look up Nestle,
Tore up
get
this
in it. But a
podcast.
tiny bit of redistribution can solve that. But people have to sacrifice certain standards of culture.
Yes.
For example,
The
like
shower.
the prestige of owning a Oh, if you're talking that people shower
Dude,
too much, that is a factor.
I'm thinking about that every day. I think about like I take a shower every day because I do tile. And I'm
Yeah, you
washing
got
the-
to.
Yeah, but it's like, do I really have to? Because people
I
in
think
like
you got it.
people-
Doing the tile.
in Afghanistan, they're doing tile. They don't shower every day. They gotta
They're-
pump their fucking shower
Dust
probably,
baths?
or they do the fucking dirty water bath. I don't know how they live, but we have it good over here.
I
dude.
guarantee
we have
that
water.
there's a lot of showers being taken in Afghanistan.
but-
There's a standard of living in the world that's gone
There
up
is.
dramatically.
It's bad. It's a bad thing though, because like we have it so good. When's it gonna fucking crash? All the money in your bank account is just gonna fucking error. You know what I mean?
Some
fucking
believe
error.
that
That's
it's
it.
correcting right now.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
they're pre-correcting their errors.
Well,
Is that what you're telling me?
we've had a really long period since the recession of
Y2K.
steady, slow growth. No, since the '08 Great Recession.
Yeah. Okay.
There's been nonstop growth since then, but it's been slow growth with no proper kind of corrections that it should have. There should be some more waves to ride, but it's
Yeah.
this been creepy swelling.
Like
and,
our company that fucking ghosted a bunch of money.
well, it has an artificial smell to it, and that's why people
Yes.
fear a correction from it and fear that it might have just been delaying or like a long thing that could be part of stagflation is an argument. Now, I've heard stagflation brought up by someone that their view on it and what to do about it was the complete opposite of mine. But it's still a fear to have when you've got
What is stagflation? First off,
inflation where you're
stagnant.
yeah.
Stagnant
So,
inflation.
like,
you're just inflating nothing. It's a bubble.
It's like a
worse.
lack of inflation when like the world's getting higher values to things and we're just like coasting. That's a horrible explanation.
where
You
we're
can look
at.
that up for
No.
like better learning.
Dude, it's
But
common sense.
That's a chunk of my understanding.
Listen, just hear civilization, like realize civilization, what we are. Like we have way too much going on. It's a machine that's running itself, and it's gonna fucking fuck up somehow one day. You know what I mean? Like we all go to work, we
Yeah.
all drive our cars, we all take care of, and like one day it's just gonna.
Well,
I don't know.
ideally, it's good to have a bunch of little fuck ups and corrections rather than postponing things and
True.
having like a willful ignorance until we have something like the Great Recession, which had to do with a lot of people turning a blind eye to a system of buying and selling debt that was like
Are you talking about the law?
using negative money as a value for other money.
I dig it.
That was the beginning of it.
Dude, we're in a crazy time, and I'll let you guys move on. I love talking about it.
no,
though.
this
I'm
is
glad I
part
got
of
to discuss that.
All right,
No,
this,
get meaty in the
this is
beginning. Wait,
this
wait,
is this is kind of far out.
Far out moment.
Yeah, it is kind of far out, right? So this Japanese cafe, right,
Yeah.
is serving people with robots. So these little robots come out and serve you your, tea or your meal or whatever, but they aren't actually robots. They're controlled by paralyzed people who are like
Oh.
chilling in like a hospital or some
they
shit. Just
living
Oh,
like
that's a
life?
cool
Are they
job for
living-
them.
Vicariously through the robot.
yeah, so they like control these robots like with computer screens and like their eye movements, control how these robots move, and they can even like talk to these people through the robots and shit.
Like, I love you.
Yeah, right.
Have a good meal.
And-
Take me home.
Dance for the people. Do a little dance.
Please give me a
Yeah,
home.
that just
The
seems
only-
like so.
You get to actually perform with a tiny robot body.
Yeah.
This
Have
is
some of your
like
fries.
heartbreakingly awesome.
Yeah, and they're like super. They're kind of cute robots too. Like
That's
check these little guys out. Yeah.
Aww. It's
Oh,
soft features.
Let's do a first ever.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. Check out
Aim it at
those.
that.
Check out those cute little robot buddies.
It's like iRobot,
Excuse
but
me.
smoother. You know?
I like
Yeah.
a smooth robot.
Yeah,
Now,
it's-
here's the thing.
Or
You
Wall-E,
could probably approach the best facsimile to like getting the feelings that you could get from like an
Being a robot.
intimate moment that you can't have with a disability by, say, you could get a job operating a sex worker robot.
Oh, hell
That
yeah.
the robot then has this real lonely person's personality behind it.
Dude. That intimacy gets transferred to the person controlling the robot. I like
or,
that.
or you have to just perceive it with your eyes if you're controlling
Yeah,
the
and you're
robot
just
because
looking
you
at titties or
lack.
whatever.
Say you're just like blowing
I don't
into
know.
a straw and moving it with your neck.
Yeah,
You're going to hallucinate the feelings of it.
Yeah, it's like
with-
a ghost limb.
Yeah, you're gonna ghost
Phantom.
limb your hump on. You're gonna ghost come.
Fuck yeah, dude. I want a ghost come one day.
Right.
Now,
Trying to have
dude.
some
Not
AI.
right now, but
That's the thing. And then you've got this robot humping that's just got a real living, feeling, emotional person behind it that's
That
like
is-
needs the interaction anyway.
that's
but-
the movie that they've been trying
It could
to
be a
make on
nonprofit,
Netflix.
Right.
you guys. I'm starting this nonprofit.
But that's like the point where after we just have like pure sex robots and everyone's like, oh, it was like great at first.
It was
Yeah,
great
we're like,
having
we're
kids,
tired of
but
this.
robots.
Yeah.
We're tired of this sex robot personality. It's like
Yeah.
it's bad AI. It's
It's
what do you call
rude.
it? The NPCs, just the stupid NPCs.
It doesn't want
that
to do anal. Like, I don't know.
Right?
This
Okay.
fucking sex robot, dude, won't fucking listen to me. Like, I don't know what to say.
Then you got the
I want my
exotic
money
like
back.
sex robots
No, that's the
controlled by
problem.
people.
Is it listens to you too well? You want it to like fight
Yeah.
with something.
Shut up, Alexa. Let me talk. Like,
But these
finish my sentence.
people-controlled ones, they'll like be coy and stuff.
Yeah, that'll be
They'll
the.
give you the game.
They're
the exotic.
disabled. They
I also
can't.
think it's
Thank you
funny
for
that
your
like,
hand sharing,
of
Ryan.
course, this was done in Japan because they don't want people not to work even if you're paralyzed.
Yeah, you can't sleep in Japan, from what I've heard, right?
That
In
is
Korea.
such a funny twist on it. I have to like highlight that a second. That's hilarious. So
It's just like a
that's
stereotype.
beautiful.
Yeah,
They
it's
get
like a
to work, and you're like, haha, they have to work.
Yeah, right.
They have to work 18
Totally,
hours a day.
totally a
right?
stereotype of like Japan where everyone works until they die, basically.
Yeah.
Even if you're paralyzed, you can work now. Thanks, Japan.
When you retire, you get to fucking bust tables as a robot.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That would be a hilarious like waste of that.
Tips are good,
Just-
though.
I think a really dumb robot could bust tables. No offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Just swipe.
No one's gonna
Straight up.
argue with me about the intellectual responsibilities of table bussing.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you have to stack it like right.
Well, and robots would just have like perfect memory of
Yeah.
like whatever's ordered, you know?
Yeah, and they
I mean,
know.
humans can manage that, but
They're
it's a
they're
robot.
often high and they're unable. They're not like sufficient at their job.
I love a high robot though.
Yeah, dude.
don't
High
get my
robot.
robots
High
high.
humans. No. High robot. Yes. High AI.
why hasn't that been a spoof yet? Of like
High
high robot?
AI, dude.
High
High
robot.
AI. High
Oh, no.
robot.
Oh no, we're doing it. High robot.
Will Smith.
It'll be like Dave Chappelle instead.
Coming
course.
summer.
He comes out of fucking hiding and just comes out with that.
Dave
Oh, yeah.
Chappelle?
Yeah. He's been in hiding, hasn't he, in Jamaica, from what I've heard?
Like, what is this clunk noise the robot keeps making? Oh, he's banging his mic against his leg.
From laughing so hard at his own fucking high
I
AI
love, okay,
jokes.
mad respect to Dave Chappelle, but who is going to bring up the fact that
What?
he'll bang the mic against his leg when he wants you to laugh? That's like a major part of his recent
Dude.
Netflix specials. Is like, this is
Yeah.
what I want to tell you. It's time to laugh. I'm going to
Hey,
bang my mic on
punchline.
the leg.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
love that.
Exactly.
Straight up, though, man, that's smart. That's,
He has to be
that's
such a
entertainment.
great comedian to get for me to get over how much that annoys the fuck out of me.
No, dude,
Yeah.
like people don't know. Was people
They don't
like
know when to
regular
laugh. They don't know when they've been told
They
a joke that
don't.
they can. Give me a minute to think
People,
about
literally,
it.
when
Then.
you hear that, it's like, oh, that's the first laugh, and then it just kind of scatters about.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to
it's-
be that dude who like laughs at a joke like 10 minutes late. And the audience be
Really?
like, "Oh damn!" Just
Should've
like the
banged your
only
mic
dude
on the
like in the
leg.
middle of it.
I'm like trying to wait to laugh. It's so hard. You know, I don't know how
Yeah.
people do it. Like, if you do that, comment or something.
You guys, we're going where other shows dare to tread. Tell your friends.
What?
We're not afraid.
Even Shane Dawson.
We're even willing to say something less than pleasant about Shane Dawson.
Hashtag
How dare
Shane
we?
Dawson. Millions of subscribers
Hashtag
later.
Jaws of Dawes.
Hashtag PewDiePie.
Dude, subscribe to PewDiePie though for reals.
For real?
Or
For
if
real?
you,
Should I?
yeah, I love it. Dude, listen.
Okay, I like
Okay.
YouTube. It's
Let's-
like, honestly.
Let's set aside for a second the fact that I am actually a PewDiePie fan, especially since he turned into like a reaction channel, even though
Yeah.
I do like his Let's Plays too. But he's seasoned, he's matured, and he's gotten cynical
Right.
and less squeaky.
Yes.
And what he's grown into is I'm a big
Yes.
fan of now. So now I feel like he's a friend in that creepy way that you get from reality
like
TV. I feel like I know
H3.
him.
I'm like, Ethan, I'm
Exactly.
fucking hanging out with you, bro.
I
Let's
love
talk
Ethan
shit.
and Hila similarly.
Yes.
So
I'm like,
yeah.
you're having a baby. We're having a baby, dude.
Exactly. So H3H3, shout out, check it out. But
Yeah.
the way you feel about them is I feel similarly about PewDiePie. But
YouTube
let's
is-
set that aside. The fact that there's now, if you guys haven't heard about this, people with Sonos audio systems have been hacked by an anonymous hacker to ask you to subscribe to PewDiePie.
No way.
Oh wow.
Printers
would
have
do
been
that?
hacked to subscribe. Ask
Who
you to
would do that?
The
Besides
9-year-olds.
PewDiePie?
It'd have to be a 9-year-old.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or 8. It could be 8.
No, that's a running joke that
thing.
his fans are called the 9-year-olds.
Yeah, dude, no. YouTube is strange because it's adult content with young subscribers calling in.
When
They're
PewDiePie's
fucking calling.
advertiser friendly now, there's like no swears on his channel anymore.
Yeah, they are. Even Ethan is like, you know,
Yeah.
kind of tone it down a little bit. and
Well,
it's like-
they got to have their numbers get what their numbers should.
it's crazy.
They've,
millions,
it's
dude.
basically you're forced into
hours.
the network at that point. Well, yeah, if that kind of advertisement was at my lap, I'd
What
be
the fuck
bleeping
kind of
people. We'd be on a
advertisement?
delay.
Like $5 Shave Club, motherfucker? Are you really that advertised? I don't know. I don't understand
Yeah,
advertising
yeah.
though.
No,
Okay,
at the
sorry.
numbers that PewDiePie and H3 are looking at, yeah, they
Yeah.
make a comfortable living with just the YouTube
And then
ads
they have
alone,
the-
aside from merch.
The
But
fuck-
merch is like a good percentage of it, probably 20 or 30%.
Then they have that website where you could do whatever you want for money.
You know, another one I love, which is actually a whole media group now. Oh, you're thinking of a Fiverr?
Patron.
Patreon.
Patreon.
We're on Patreon. Shout out. Hook us
Dude,
up on Patreon.
For real,
Patreon us.
what is
We're
Patreon?
there.
You just do whatever the fuck you want for
You
money.
donate money. We do this. We do it whether you
Yeah.
donate money or not. We're
Nice.
unstoppable.
I'm gonna do this.
It's
Without
not
money.
for you. It's for us, and we hope
Oh,
that you
fuck.
enjoy us.
Okay.
No, it's for you, you guys. We're totally doing it for you. We'd do it way crappier if it was just for us.
Totally.
So anyway, yeah, Patreon's a thing, and our merch is cool. But
I want merch now.
right now, we're honestly breaking even. This isn't costing us anything, but it's
That's so beautiful.
largely because of the sponsors of the station and helping out with the station technically stuff. So it's complicated. We would love to get more merch out, but we'd also love your suggestions on better merch we can make, and we'll make that for you
Seriously.
too. And our margin's super low. We're not poised to make money on it right now. We're in like a growing, grabbing more of you all and
Yeah.
improving the format phase.
You're like Basquiat before he was Basquiat. You know, like he was just on heroin and shitty painter. Like, and then he
No,
became
that was season
Basquiat.
one.
Oh, that was season one of Basquiat.
That's why
okay.
we cut off the seasons when we
But
do,
no,
because it
like-
feels like the right amount of time to come in on whatever the most recent season is. I figure we've evolved enough
Yes,
that that's
you
where I'll feel
have.
the least cringy. So you can start
Because-
at the recent season is the trick.
You started as like a vague thing, and now it's
We
a
started
news
in a car.
reaction. No, yeah,
But yeah,
you
but no,
did.
the first season, yeah, we didn't know where to steer the format as much.
Can
yeah.
I just like tell you guys how much I respect you? I told you this before the show, and like I really do
Thanks,
try to
man.
listen to you guys because
Thanks, man.
it's always funny. It just is. It's
Thanks.
interesting. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you're just laughing, and you're just laughing, and that's a good feeling.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
times
yeah.
when it's not even something
natural.
funny. That's how I nervously react to situations anyway.
me
So
too.
might as well try to
it's
squeeze some entertainment out of it.
Capture that.
contagious.
Yeah.
Put it in a bottle. Sell
Totally.
it. Yeah.
And
Laughter in
I
a
do
bottle.
listen back to these and try to learn from them.
Yeah.
And grow in that way. And that's one of the ways I feel it's valuable, even if we're just hollering to the darkness.
Yeah.
But no, you can bump into some friends that like us. You don't have to be alone in
Dude,
your fandom of us.
Instagram is like that. I talk to
I'm trying to
motherfuckers.
heat up that Instagram.
Like, I do art trades on Instagram, right?
That's really cool.
I'm just like,
Your art is great. I love looking at it there.
thank you
I
very
feel
much.
it. It's very all about communicating emotion. I
It's
think that's what it should be.
become like people thought of me as wax big melting, and now they're like, "Hey, you paint too," and it's like nice to hear that.
I bet you've got a following by now that knows you for that first.
Yeah, on Instagram, it's really interesting, man. I talk to like my favorite rappers, my favorite like musicians, like seriously big people on Instagram.
They'll
just,
actually
DMing
like
it.
respond.
Yes, and it's really
Yeah.
cool. Like austerity program will fucking respond to you, like metal bands, and you're just like, I'm talking to this person I really love, and it's just cool how YouTube is like that too, and like you could talk to you guys, and I don't know, I just hope the best for you guys.
Yeah, we have someone I was DMing in Bangladesh. Yeah, shout out to Rabi.
Really?
Rabi, my brother in Bangladesh. Holla. Yeah,
yeah.
he's got a factory coming together with some clothes
No
that
way.
we're looking at. But
Hell yeah,
yeah,
Rami or
if anyone needs some that direct Bangladesh, no, just Rabi, like Rabi with the
Rabi.
A.
Rabbi.
Yeah.
Cool. I knew a Rami, so that's where that came from.
Excuse me. Anyway.
All right.
Oh, hey, so
I keep breaking.
There we
I'm
go.
sorry.
you keep whatting?
I keep like distracting everything.
No, that's what happens, man.
Yeah, you're-
That's where it goes.
I'm drunk already.
It goes where it
So-
goes, man.
Cool. Good.
Yeah, you're in the pocket.
We go
so
where the
far.
we go where the chase leads.
Yeah.
No, you'd see me getting antsier
Good.
if you weren't in that pocket.
Good. If I'm just like, listen to Wax Pig Melting, waxpigmelting.bandcamp.com, Wax Pig Melting Noise Meditation on YouTube, Wax Pig Melting new EP,
It is good though.
Hell yeah.
Las Vegas Weekly 2 weeks ago. Get
Yeah,
it?
like your music is
Just
pleasing.
kidding.
It's like totally pretty, but
I just did my plug, so.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
good now.
you'll get extra plugs because it's good
No.
shit. I'm a Wax Pig Melting fan. I was in an earlier version of the band.
You were
A
a
billion years ago.
guitarist.
Yeah.
You're on YouTube.
The stunt guitar on YouTube.
We all have towels on our heads in one video. It's so
I
great.
was very warm. That was a definite helpful thing to do.
Good days, dude.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Putting a towel on your head is really underrated. Aside from
haven't
any
tried it.
cultural stigma, I recommend it.
Yeah.
Greg, go home and
Cools
put
you
a
down.
towel on your head.
I,
dude.
Yeah.
I most definitely
No
will be.
hate.
That's going to be
Don't
the
wrap
first.
it. Just
put it on
hang
there?
bro.
All
Just
right.
hang it.
Okay.
Go find your fancy. Make it a duck. Make it a goose. Yeah. Find your fancy.
Duck goose it.
Towel
You know?
ducks. Towel
Towel
duck,
ducks.
goose.
Hashtag towel goose.
DuckTales, dude. All right.
Dude, okay, I had the,
We're
DuckTales.
going too far.
I had this VCR that you'd push the channel up and down buttons back and
Of
forth.
course, yeah.
And it would mute the sound while you changed the channel. So I just changed the channel rapidly back and forth during the intro to
mute
DuckTales because I was so embarrassed of my parents hearing me listening to that song. I mean, I'm like 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm like, this is kid stuff. I'm so embarrassed of this. I'm going to
Yeah.
play with my microcassette tape recorder.
I remember a vivid memory of 7 years old or 8 years old. I was like, I found Howard Stern, and there was some hot bitch with like, you know, her tits all out, but not out, but she was scantily clad.
On display.
Yeah, on display, definitely on this Howard Stern show. And I was like, turn this on mute. You know what I mean? Mom was like right there above the counter. I'm like watching Howard Stern at 7 or 8.
That was me with
Like-
stand-up comedy at my grandparents' house.
Yeah.
The problem is,
Black comics.
when you mute it, it's like,
You're like, I
so
can't listen to this.
worthless.
Yeah.
They can't.
Well, no, I was. They didn't think I was old enough for stand-up, so there was just like a "you're not old enough for stand-up" rule. But like, there's cable, and I was free reign of the cable and get on that VH1, you know.
Dude, hell yeah.
But like when you mute stand-up, it's so worthless. People just like stomp around and wave their hands.
There was so much good TV back in the day before there were so many channels, like, you know, like poetry channels and like fucking music video channels and cartoon channels. And
What,
sport.
the Poetry Channel? No.
Yeah, it was the BET.
No, and then
Black
HBO,
entertainment
HBO,
television.
Was
And then-
that a poetry channel?
Dude, it
I
was
watched
Poetry
sitcoms
Slam.
on
It was
that,
like-
but- okay.
It was like
And then
deaf
HBO,
poetry.
yeah, HBO had Deaf
Hella
Poetry
deaf
Jam.
poetry, like-
hosted by like Most Deaf.
Like
Wow.
Always
Yeah, so
Sunny in
was-
Philadelphia. They're like,
I-
that's hella deaf, dude.
Yeah.
I think by the time that was going on, I was already like streaming stuff.
Yeah,
Kind of
but-
away from TV because
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
You're an internet nerd, so you're probably there in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And not watching TV. You're on the internet.
I was thinking about the WB.
Dude, what's
When
the
you-
WB?
Like while we're on that black entertainment tip, yeah, well, the
Like,
WB
that's a
shows.
dope
I was into that.
fucking channel. Like,
Yeah.
you just stumble upon it, you're like, all right, I'll watch this for a second. And you're like, fuck, I'm glued.
For sure. Anyway, okay, news.
Sorry.
News. We're back on news.
Yeah,
No.
can we please? Can we?
No.
Can I have
Let me get some news.
All right.
Something new.
Yeah, this is really weird, and I had no idea this
there's
was
some
a
wind.
thing. But some dude was caught smuggling 70 birds,
Oh,
finches to
Up
be
his-
exact. The little
Aw.
tiny. No, that would be even crazier. But
How
he
many
was
birds?
smuggling them. No, finches, in hair rollers.
ah.
So he like
What's a
put
herald?
no a hair
Okay,
roller.
this is sad
Oh.
and mean for them, but it's cute sounding too.
yeah,
So you
and
can fit.
and
How do you
then-
cram a little finch in that hair roller? That's
You go,
fucking awful.
get in there like the rat in the
It
stomach.
had to be like a
You make it
bigger
claw
roller.
into
Yeah,
it.
they're like the
imagine.
bigger rollers,
Yeah.
and then you like rubber band a little like mesh thing on top so they can
Oh,
breathe.
God.
But like the question is why? Why would someone smuggle finches
For the band?
Well,
and not
there's-
just a couple? Yeah,
Sorry,
They
dude.
had the finch choir,
They're collectible though. There's all kinds of different colors and
That-
shapes and stuff. They're like little chibi puppets.
but apparently
little dolls.
there are
Little
like
Furbies.
Yeah.
there are events where people will bet on how many times the finch will chirp.
No way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dude.
Right?
Nice.
That's like seems ridiculous.
Finch fights.
And so like a really popular like male finch can go for as much as 10 grand.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why
I'm
it's-
in the wrong trade, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we just gotta get on
Finch
that,
live.
that finch smuggling tip.
finch-
Yo, call
money.
in and you get a finch. What up? Seriously.
Did that
All I
blast you?
want to
don't
do
know
is
my
pew,
levels.
pew, pew, and get some money. Sorry. Find a gunshot right now. No. Sorry.
We don't have any gunshots.
Just
Damn it.
winning sounds.
Just MIA winning.
MIA.
I actually bought her album. Anyway.
No, I had that album too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like.
Was that the
tripping.
one with?
The album after that.
Oh, okay.
After the single. I was like, I'm going to check it out. I didn't dig it. But whatever. Whatever. You know.
Kind of forgettable.
Yeah, I kind of, you know.
Yeah.
boom,
You know,
bomb.
she was like the hotness for a minute.
Dang, I'm
Yeah.
feeling the news fire today.
Dude, the news is
News
good.
props.
Yeah.
Is
What-
it? Is it though?
What's so nice about it? What's
Yeah.
so nice about today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. It's only Friday. Those happen every week.
It's Friday, the 14th of December.
Mother's Day. Every Friday is Mother's Day at work. Because you get your check and then you give it to your wife. That's the union joke. That's
Aw.
the union men joke.
I'm
Yeah.
finding that charm. I keep
Alpha male as fuck.
I'm really having a holiday season, getting charmed by things.
Yeah,
Finding
dude.
that charming, thinking things are charming, being charmed.
It's nice to think about the thought of Christmas. It doesn't really ever feel like Christmas to me because I'm never like immersed in it. I live by myself, so I don't really like.
Well, I love the concept of people having all these different parallel rituals to cope with the fact that seasonally it's the most difficult to survive.
Yes, it's the coldest. Well,
It's like the human condition kind of thing.
Somebody brought up like, no, dude, I don't do Christmas because I already did Thanksgiving. And I'm like, that's perfect because Christmas is really Thanksgiving part 2. You know what I mean? Without the food. That made me think too. I was like, fuck.
Both of them need more costumes.
It's like Thanksgiving with presents.
I'm in too many holidays. I need to cut my shit down. Like for real. Like I don't do that anymore. I'm not a fucking Thanksgiving.
I'm on the Krampus train.
Yeah,
lately.
dude.
Yeah, like the last 2 Christmases, I'm all about Krampus.
A lot of Krampus talk this year.
That's dope.
I didn't know about
glad.
Krampus until American Dad.
Yeah.
my
That was good.
introduction.
Krampus is pretty legit. I like it.
I love
I like,
that show.
Don't be
was a
shitty or
song.
he'll come and take your ass.
That was the song, right? Krampus song.
I'm sure there was.
Song. Yeah, dude, the songs are good. Anyways, American Dad songs.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna give
I
a
don't know.
strong
R&B.
But like, Lights on Snow is nice too.
Yeah,
Shout out to
so-
Lights on Snow. Yeah.
Did they really? Lights on Snow. All right. Did they really?
There we go. There's a nice little. Impending doom.
News headline coming now.
Yeah.
All right.
I love we're chugging. This is great.
This is another. I don't know if this is a joke or not. Let me just start with that.
Oh, I don't think I got to look into this.
All
one.
right. So,
Satire or not? What's up?
yeah, exactly. I have
So
no
you guys
idea.
can help us do the research.
So, in a town in Idaho, I guess maybe called Pocatello.
Hell
Who the-
yeah!
who
I've
the
heard
fuck
of that.
cares, yeah?
Yeah.
I've heard of that. I feel
That's
cool.
one of a couple of cities people
So-
have heard of in Idaho.
It appears that 2 of the Hanson brothers. You guys remember that band?
Yes,
Yo,
I do.
where that one looked like a chick
Bop.
Yeah,
when
with
I
the
was
longer
13?
hair, the
Yeah.
longer bangs. Yeah.
when I was like, okay.
yeah, I remember.
So 2 of the brothers stole a Jeep and then went on
High on meth.
numerous high-speed chases.
Numerous.
Oh,
They got
man.
away.
Yeah, multiple times even. They're still at large.
I bet you meth is involved, dude. All the '90s stars, Nickelback, all those guys, meth.
They're
You
all
hear
meth?
about it? Yeah, dude. I hear about it.
Creed.
Yeah, I'm just tripping. I'm like, what
Like Dave, I don't know, dude. Like the Hanson Bros.
The singer from Creed fell in
Yeah.
a paranoid hole really bad.
Oh,
He was posting videos too of
He
it.
might have
Scott
been-
Stapp,
Yeah, Scott Stapp.
the
might-
voice of Creed.
Bro, he was such a. You look at him in
Well,
the
he
videos.
seems
He looks so Christian.
predisposed to schizophrenia, which, I mean,
Bad for meth.
Yeah,
Bad for meth.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's fucking Creed.
yeah, people don't think that there's other forms of schizophrenia besides just visual or auditory hallucinations. But there's a really common, relatively,
Thoughts.
version where you just think people are after you as paranoid. The generic paranoid schizophrenia.
Truman
is
Show kinda
yeah,
deal.
Yeah.
I've felt that sometimes. That mean I'm schizophrenic.
It's really hard to.
I'm like, why
there's
does
always a way that that person's brain can rationalize it.
can route it? Yeah,
yeah,
because I'm
can
like,
route
why?
it back in. You can't logically talk someone out of it with just logic. It's rough.
I feel like that sometimes. Like, why am I on Waz's show? Why am I in a? Why does anyone
Yeah.
care?
My dad had
Truman
that
Show.
really hard. I would
Truman
spend
Show,
a lot
really?
of time trying to like logic him out of it.
Like,
But
Dad, I'm
no,
your
there's
son.
still
I'm
No,
sorry,
it was
that's
still
fucked
more
up.
like-
That's fucked up, dude.
people.
I didn't have a dad, so there you go.
People after him, people controlling him, people putting the voices he was hearing, people putting those in there.
Bro.
Some a parallel organization, some corporation doing it.
Quick
some facet
antidote.
of the government. Some quick antidote.
Yes.
Got a quick antidote.
I got a good one. I'm serious. It's a good paranoia thing. Some guy at work. I gave him, I
Ankle-dote.
was like,
Quick
hey,
ankle-dote.
I got a fucking Twinkie for you. I have 2 Twinkies in my lunchbox. Do you want one, my guy I'm working with?
Simple enough.
Yeah. And my stepfather's really important in the union, right? So he knows this, and he looks at the Twinkie and he goes, "What'd you do to this?" I go, "Nothing. It's a Twinkie." He goes, "Well, no, like you know, the union president is out to get me, and your dad's like, you know, close with him. Like, what did you do to this? You need to tell me. Like, you're not just my helper by chance. I'm like, dude, actually, yes, I am. And I don't want to work with you either, but thank you. And he just thought I did something that's Twinkie.
Did you just eat it in front of him?
Yeah, I did.
Not
I'm
breaking
like,
eye
bro.
contact?
Yeah, I'm like, fucking look at me.
Watch me eat this Twinkie.
Right.
Yeah, if only that worked.
Delicious.
Like, really, though, you know, you think I'm trying to kill you with a Twinkie, like, at work. That's the least likely time I think I'm going to die at work.
Right. I'd be like, yo, if I'm going to kill anyone, it isn't going to be with a fucking Twinkie.
It's like me, my fucking coworker.
I've got way more fucking pizzazz than that, all right? I'm going out with style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got some ex-bosses. I got some ex this. I got some ex that. You know what I mean?
Speaking
we're getting flashy.
That form of schizophrenia, I have an ex that started stalking someone that she thought had like secret plans to be with her.
Oh, no.
But he just wouldn't admit it like out loud or anything.
That's
only in
sad.
like signs that he was planting.
Yeah, that's crazy. Gnarly.
Yeah.
I saw your status. I know what it means.
Yeah. So like
Oh,
that.
man.
Or like we're like I was
know
just
what it means.
I was just
know.
at this random gas station getting a snack, and something that was put on the shelves by one of the people that work for you
Yeah.
was here to remind me
This
of
is
this.
like depressing.
Knowing that I'd go to this store.
Yeah, because
Yo.
I feel it so hard.
Have you guys seen that? It's a show on Netflix called Maniac.
Is that the one with the Jonah Hill?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so good. That taught me the
Yeah.
Ghetto Boys song.
Yeah,
Mine's
that
playing tricks on me. Four walls just staring at a... Whatever.
Is it? Oh, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it's the rap song in like the
Yeah,
fourth
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
It's a dope show, though.
But yeah, like he plays a schizophrenic dude, and he's totally like involved in this fantasy where he's like a secret agent to like save the world.
his family's like out to get him, or they're like pushing him up, or like everybody's like
Yeah.
in a conspiracy.
But he has like a secret brother that no one else knows about. That's like his
Yeah.
contact and shit. It's
But
really weird.
only he sees him, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he's not real. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a
Sometimes
copy
I
of his-
feel like that. I'm like, you know, like I feel the conspiracy part. I don't feel the hallucinations.
Yeah. But how like
Like for real. Like I used to think people were cops.
Well, it's wired in your
You know what I
brain
mean?
to have that happen into all of
Defense,
us.
yeah.
That's why
yeah,
it's,
pattern seeking. Yeah.
it's tragic that leads to people being in jail. It leads to people being derelict and unable
mean-
to get
yeah.
disability or survive that, or unable to hold down a job because you can't get these thoughts and fears out of your head of these
Yeah.
things that are attaching that you can't
I keep-
even understand them as not true because it just makes too much sense. The things are connecting too strongly. And even though
Yeah.
it's a thought error, it's it makes a thought loop, so it's really difficult to treat too.
Yeah, and it's not your fault, even though it is.
For
even
sure.
though you're the person
Well,
doing it, it's not your fault.
It's
You're
easy
not,
to
like,
look at someone like that and judge, especially with my own dad. Things that I thought he could have just taken control of or
Stop.
make decisions
Yeah.
in spite of it. But it's hard to really understand what it's like to be stuck in that.
Yeah, well, it like changes the
place.
filter that you perceive reality
Yeah.
through. So like you're getting like incorrect information, so you can't make correct judgments.
And
or-
you
or,
Yes.
like,
really
decipher.
believe that you're right. You see the evidence, so you
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
even hear them. You're
Yeah.
like, dude, I saw it on the shelf, like you said, at the store. I know who works
Yeah.
there, and you know them, and you put that there for me. Even though you're not telling me, it's cool. I like you too. And it's like, wow, I don't feel that way, woman.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I've been dating lately,
Changed
sort of.
number, moved,
What?
and it still continued.
What?
This person that was being stalked,
Really?
that he changed his number, blocked
Moved.
everything, and then moved. She went to his house a couple
Still
times.
found it.
And so he moved.
Did she find it?
She never found where
Thank
he moved to.
God.
No,
I had an ex-girlfriend
I think he moved
like
out
that.
of state actually.
Yeah, that's what
I
you
don't
have
know
to
that
do.
for sure.
That's-
He might have just went to another like friend's house. He was
Whatever
just
it
a
takes.
roommate
Only
anyway.
answer.
It wasn't
Whatever it
like he
takes,
had
I
to
guess.
move like a whole house. It wasn't. I don't want to paint like too awful of a picture, but it was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
traumatic thing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Gnarly. All right,
Mental
first
health. Yeah.
for some uplifting news.
There you go.
That's a joke. It's not going to be uplifting. It's pretty crazy. Spoiler alert.
Damn it.
This also more Russian news though, coming
Yes.
from Irkutsk.
Irkutsk. I remember that name from playing
I'm
Risk.
from
you
there.
guys.
Yeah.
Nah.
This,
No, no, brother.
All right, so this Siberian policeman
Okay.
turned out to
What
be
the fuck?
a serial killer.
Okay.
Whoa, this gets.
I'm following.
Yeah, he was already in prison convicted of killing 22 women,
Okay.
and he's been in prison since like 2015. But they found more evidence that he killed like a total of like 56 women or something, and they were all like prostitutes. So he would just like he would pick up these prostitutes and then rape and murder them, and it was like his mission. He thought so. Maybe
He's schizophrenic.
maybe he was crazy.
Dude, I think about that a lot.
He was like he
people are
thought
out
he
there?
was cleaning up the streets,
Yeah,
not
like
by
Batman.
just like doing his job as a policeman, but by murdering them.
Yeah, schizophrenia as a term is really misleadingly inspecific. Like, there's a lot of
It's
very
multifaceted.
different seeming.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah, you could
variations.
have one type of schizophrenia and have nothing in common with a person with a very different type.
It's like bipolar, dude. Like they were
Yeah.
like, "You're not bipolar," and I'm
Well,
like,
like-
I'm pretty sure I have mood swings every day.
Like,
I don't know, whatever,
I've found. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, because this is just like something I think I kind of understand.
Yeah.
That bipolar isn't as specific as manic depressive, and that's why manic depressive is kind of an obsolete term.
Yeah,
because there's
because
people
it's
that are
so vague.
bipolar, but their poles aren't manic and
And they
mania
just
and depression.
when you go to the appointment, you're in a mood, right? You're ready to see the doctor, so you're in a mood, and they read you as that person that you're putting up front as. And so it's weird, man. Like mental illness is fucking weird. Especially, I can't imagine being schizophrenic. Like honestly, like knowing people, whatever, even though they don't. It's crazy. But yeah.
Data,
Yeah, that's the thing. There's
corruption.
like, yeah, there's shades of like anything. Even as the more we understand and like how it's originates in like in the actual like structure of our brains, and like there's a huge spectrum of like autism as well. So nothing's really like black and white.
Are you saying that everybody's crazy?
Yes.
Yes,
It's very likely.
That's
I've
something
learned
that helps
that.
a lot.
I've helped. Yes,
I think
I've
my
understood
biggest
that.
great breakthrough and growth as far as like mental strength came from that realization of not being alone.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like
For me, like anxiety was really tough. And
Yeah.
the fact that it could be normal to some people, even though it obviously seemed
It's a
abnormal compared to
driving-
like my friend group or whatever.
it's a driving force, dude. It's just excitement on overload. But I still get drunk to fight against it. but
For
still.
sure.
But honestly, man, like I'm dating a lot not a lot, but I meet a few people and I'm just like, wow, you're scared to do this? You're scared to do that? You know what I mean? Like that's strange to me because I thrive off those situations, but I've learned to adapt.
I've
as
noticed
being a
that too,
musician.
or maybe it's almost like a
whatever.
thrill seeking for numbness that like I'll pursue things sometimes
I'm
that other
so
people would be
numb.
terrified of,
Yeah.
socially particularly.
I suggest that to people who are so numb that they just go home and watch TV, and that they go out and not watch TV and they go out and talk to someone randomly and be like, hey, what's up?
Like forcing yourself to get
What's
over
up?
a normal person's amount of stage fright when you have anxiety is great because it puts it in perspective. And a lot of people, I think, discover this organically because there's so many anxiety sufferers in content creation and media, especially independent content creation.
Because they're creative and they create problems
Yeah.
and they create like
Well-
non-solutions.
Well, oftentimes they might have been too stifled to get into the mainstream or just didn't roll the dice to get into the mainstream and still were able to blow up from the underground as we've had like a more democratic media and a lot of like YouTube creators, for example, that have built great channels because of that manic creation, but horrible anxiety sufferers. It comes out like later in their channel, but it's something that
Yeah, they're like, dude, I'm broken. Like straight up, you guys. Like there's thousands of you, and I don't know what to do.
What's
I
crazy-
love it.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
in high school, I used to be so hungry for weird, like social things. Like I'd go to a store and just yell "mom" in the aisle as like a late teenager, just because I thought
fucking-
it was so funny.
I fucking see
Or
you
get
doing
on the
that.
intercom. I was just like a shithead like that. But
You're not a shithead, Waz. Like seriously, when I first met you, you're like, dude, everything is like this or that, and it's a positive, like fluffy. It's always fluffy. Whatever you say is soft. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I don't know.
It's
dude.
working. No, this is
Besides greasy
intentional.
conversation, it's like a feeling though. Everything you say is a feeling. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's awesome. That's
we
why I
never
listen to
get
this
like all
podcast.
the way abrasive and greasy.
No, you
No matter
don't.
how crazy it gets, there's always this tame like softness
oil in
put
it.
onto it. Yeah, we always oil it up.
It's not gonna stick to the pan.
I'm glad you noticed that though, because that's a way that our listen viewers can like explain it to others as their obsession builds. But what is that? Why do I even
building.
care about that?
No, dude, it's
so
building.
fun though. It's so delicious to try to
You're
build
like
a
a
community.
band. You suck for the
fun.
first time. It's like me painting. I'm like, dude, I love painting because I suck at it. And I'm figuring out every day
Yeah.
what it's like to paint something good or better than what I did yesterday. And you're doing that with the podcast.
Oh,
You're
for
like,
sure.
I
I
have this
love that
motherfucker
pursuit
on.
of like not trying, finding where the line is between driving myself crazy, but also steady growth and improvement.
Yeah, like-
How much better can I make it without trying to? Because otherwise, I'll bring like 2 armloads of crap and I'll burn out. That's if I try too hard, that's what people do. It's like not a fun toy anymore, and they don't want to do it anymore because they
have to
make themselves
delicately,
grossed
like,
out by it.
Poke it. You
Yeah,
know, like,
little bring one new toy at a time. Like we added
Introduce them to
YouTube
each
this
other.
season. Shout out to the YouTube viewers. That's something we added this season. Anyway, enough licking our own butts. Let's back for some media.
All right.
This one.
Oh no!
Those
It's
are great.
okay, yeah.
All right, so
Now news.
this is my lead in on this one. These are my notes. Next week, no more space program as government declares world is actually in a snow globe.
Isn't this Italy?
Yeah, so basically Italy just like fired their entire like health expert board
Fuck yeah.
and went totally like anti-vax.
Whoa.
And they're just like, yeah, we want all the kids to get measles again.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean polio.
Wasn't the Paris scandal the one we didn't do, and now didn't you just say like?
Now Italy is being creepily like conflict of interest on their like expert board. They literally said we want to make sure that this board of experts is like, I used weirdly translated language, but like buddies in line with the goals of the like consulate, the like creepy government.
Russia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's like Star Wars level.
Dude, like
No.
America is Russia. What?
You know,
Right.
this is what happens when
Well, no, it's really weird. Like, and this is a issue of contention for me is that, and it happens a lot in the media, where we'll have like, they treat like two sides, like there are two sides to an issue, right? Like climate change is a big one, right?
Of course.
Like 97% of climate scientists say like something bad's going to happen. We can argue on like, is the world going to get totally fucked up in 10 years? Is it going to be 20, 25, 30, 50, whatever?
It's
All right.
within their lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, but you can't deny that like climate change is happening and we're largely responsible for it. But the media will treat like there's two sides to it. Like, because there's people that disagree with it, but that's just an opinion.
Yeah.
And there's like rigorous scientific experiments, evidence, yeah, that like confirm like. So there's not always like two sides to an issue. You can have an opinion.
Peace.
That's the opposite of something that we all know, like the Earth is not flat.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you can like have that opinion, but you're wrong. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you don't recognize that, but you know,
Dude.
that's
No,
your problem.
dude, like the internet has fucked everything up because now you're a dick if you don't see my side.
Well, I hate that we're
You
not
know.
starting from a common knowledge thing too.
Yeah.
Is I'm
Yeah.
all about arguing
I'm
details
open-minded,
about
bro.
climate science. Yeah, I'm all about us having people on different sides arguing about, say, the severity of something or what we should do about it or who's responsible for it. But you need to start with the evidence of who's responsible for it, and the evidence of what's best to do with it,
Yeah.
and the evidence of how much it's a thing. And then can we like at least
All right.
start from the same truths
Every
and then
time-
debate with each other? That's my issue.
Honestly, it was like, yeah, to start with like the foundations. Every
Yeah,
time I hear
we don't
weather
want to
report,
shut down thought or shut down discussion because one side's obviously full of shit. We want to say, let's lift them up. Let's get some non-full of shit people that still disagree with us and
Yeah.
have some rousing debate on what's left to debate.
clear the nonsense though. Like the
Yeah,
other,
let's
there's
start
this
from
like
the same page at least.
it honestly seems like it's paid. Like Reddit
Oh,
comments.
it is. Well, a lot of times
It's crazy.
directly trackable.
It's fucking
like
crazy.
this person takes checks
yeah,
from this
they're
organization.
astroturfing.
And dude, there's like the
a
top
term for it.
comment on like the internet opinion piece, like you said, like Brexit or whatever the fuck is like the wall or Trump.
The whole idea of
you know?
Brexit, like the more that comes out, that was totally like an astroturfed campaign to like change public perception on that whole topic. And there's like stuff that happens like that all over the place.
What if it is really the queen that like rules everything. So like,
Well, she
Europe
owns all the land.
Well, no, Europe
Yeah.
or Russia is obviously a big contender.
The queen's the technical landowner.
Yeah,
she just
seriously.
allows all these people to have a
She
government on
allowed
her
the
land.
Indians. She allowed us to steal it from the Indians. That was cool of her.
Oh, not this
Thanks.
land. I was talking about.
No, we took it from them fair and
England.
square.
Everything's fucked up, but everything led to where we're at right now, and I'm pretty thankful for where I'm at. So I don't know. Things are fucked up though.
Some days,
Some days.
most days,
I
and
feel
then some
pretty good
days
lately.
things are okay.
Yeah, like right
Some
now.
things are okay.
But the point is, just because you have an
Russia.
opinion doesn't mean you're Russia, and it doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both R's. The two R's. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're Russian. It doesn't mean you're right. Don't fucking do it.
I like it.
Too
Hey,
far-
I'm giving
too-
you a.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
needed
wanted.
that.
That's what I'm here for. I'm just rolling into. I'm like waking up to my role right now. You guys, I'm here to sting you with some stingers. The cool sauce of some nice.
I like how into shit we're getting, because honest, like
You're
we're
a great
talking about
guest,
news.
Brian.
Thank you.
You
I'm
should
just
know
ripping.
you're doing great.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't want to interrupt all the time, but I'm a talkative
No,
guy.
you haven't.
All right. Yeah, I try to wait.
Yeah.
For that time. There's like a pocket, like I feel
sure.
like when you listen to 107.5 in the morning or whatever, you always hear, like that's the greatest job ever. Is that?
But I have given so much thought to what you're talking about there with how there's a pocket to
People interrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
kidding.
And it can be infuriating to listen to when you can't hear one person's train finish enough and things don't string together well. That happens when I have more than 3 people on this show.
More than 3 people. So
Yeah.
there's like a duo.
The moment
me
I have
and
a
a band
second
member.
guest, there's usually an issue of 2 conversations forming.
Mic control. It's
Yeah.
like one
Or-
person has to take the back seat a little bit, not too
For sure.
much, but a little bit.
Well, sometimes one person is getting into talking about something, other person turns to the third person, asks them or brings up something to them as if the other person isn't talking.
I
That's
like-
when 3 people falls apart a little. But that hasn't
Yeah.
happened much. That's
I like watching Joe Rogan podcasts, and a lot of people
For
say
sure.
they hate him lately because he's so whatever.
it seems like it's never been a worse time to hate him.
Yeah, because he's doing.
He's more
great.
likable than ever.
Honestly, though, he had this couple on, Bill O'Rourke or some shit. He's
Uh-huh.
like a scientist, dude, and his wife, and you could tell the wife was like controlling the conversation. She was looking at him whenever he said something a little bit
That's
like
helpful,
out
though.
of line. You know what I mean? It's like having it is helpful because
That's the thing. A lot. It seems
they were a great team. It was cool.
That can be awkward sometimes. That can be great sometimes. Sometimes that can look awkward, but actually be super great.
Yeah, it was great for me listening. I was like,
She's helping. She's caring
you could
about the
tell.
listeners with this guy.
only visually. If I was listening
Oh,
audio,
really? I
wouldn't-
probably didn't even
I wouldn't
notice
know.
because I think I just listened to that one.
Yeah, because
That's great.
Yeah, he was a lot of science and biology. Like women are sending off signals to men, and it was an interesting podcast.
Yeah, I think I remember that
Very
one.
interesting, yeah.
I know that when
Threw me
someone is being a specialist, it's harder for them to be
Specialist.
a strong communicator. It just takes up so much of the brain to do either one.
Because you're that thing.
This is a theory I have
Okay.
that there's people whose roles are very communication oriented that at best
Like Jordan
they have like
Peterson.
an array. Well, Jordan, some
He's
people
interesting to
have
me.
great communication skills, but they're also a specialist on something, and they can. But it's rarer, you know what I mean? Most of the time, specialists have other spokespeople. And most of the time, spokespeople are in advertising and spokespeopling, and they're not also like a physicist or something.
That's why Kevin Kilfeather has a manager. I'm like, how do you play the Brooklyn Bowl for fucking MC5?
Or why
He's
there's
like, my manager.
there's very, very few
He can't,
Michio Kaku's or Neil deGrasse Tyson's.
Yeah.
Very, very few. They're surrounded by people and even
'Cause they
drag
can-
people in, like Neil deGrasse will bring up a guest that's a specialist, but they'll have trouble carrying something hostily, so I'll have a comedian on to
Yeah.
riff on them and keep it trucking and stuff, and that's awareness of that. And I feel that in myself that I have to honestly, I feel like I have to approach something stupider. to get them done. I think stupid people get more done. That's why a lot of
Because
really
they keep
talented,
going. They don't question it.
a lot of people with a lot of gumption that know behind their eyes they could really do some neat stuff,
They keep
and they see
fucking talking.
well, they see other people approaching things and going it way clumsier and worse, and they get mad and discouraged that, like, why isn't that me doing that? Why is this person getting this attention? And they don't realize maybe that person's just working harder and they weren't expecting a handful of content to get appreciated or noticed for its value right away. They're just churning it out and growing as they churn.
I'm going to give you a little
Because
secret.
that's getting it done.
I'm ashamed to even say this, but at the same time, I'm not. Like, you know how I started painting, right? And, like, I suck at it
Well,
a little bit.
you absolutely approach painting that way.
You know,
but you
some
got better
people
too.
Have, like, some people have just posted pictures of a painting. Like, hey, I did a painting. This is for sales. I'm doing commissions now. I'm like, dude, that's your first painting. And you took a picture of it and you posted it on Instagram. And just, 'cause I feel like I influenced it a little bit sometimes. And that's just like the wrong reason. Like, just what you just said.
I think that's
like,
a good way of looking at that.
You're
You
like,
want-
I want this attention. I'm going to post that. And you're posting it for the wrong reason. It's not really interesting, but it gets the attention, but it doesn't.
Well,
and it's like false. But
There's
it's like,
some really awkward stuff like that, but I feel like
yeah,
being sincere
is.
about what you want and trying to offer something that you sincerely think is valuable, I think is great. Like, I think there's really strong content that has themes of, say there's a producer I follow on Instagram, I'll try to remember and link him later, that has like tips to just like post a
Yeah.
tip, and that's so much cooler than like, hey, check out what I'm doing. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you know, limiters are great.
Help
It's like an
you.
automatic compressor. I'm like,
Dude.
hell yeah, I love limiters, and I was engaged even though like I knew that already. So it's
Yeah.
really cool.
obvious to me, most of the content that is most interesting to me is somebody going off like crazy, like just spitballing. You know what I mean?
That's fun
Like,
too, because there's
what we're
something that,
doing.
like bonding about that. Sometimes people rant well.
Yeah, like when I paint, I like to have a person there to be like blah blah blah, and they influence the painting. It really does.
Oh, cool.
Like, I don't know, man. Like it's cool to just conversate. Like it really is. That's what I'm here.
Word. Hey, so we're around the middle of the hour.
No.
I gotta shout out some homies like Cold Cock Whiskey, whose sponsorship helps this station go. RadioVegas.rocks is the station hosting this gladness that we're a part of here. I couldn't just do this in my home. My home is much tinier than this. So it's due in part, like the big part, like the whole thing, is due to RadioVegas.rocks. And we couldn't have RadioVegas.rocks without Zip Fizz is one that we were talking about a bunch. We love Zip Fizz. We're grabbing some fistfuls of them. They've been around for a while.
Honestly.
Dude Wipes is a good one that helps us out a lot, comes up a lot in conversation, especially after Spunk Lube has come up. Don't fast forward now and think the commercials are going to get any naughtier. That's like
That's the bottom of the barrel.
no, that gets way lower, but Spunk Lube is actually a holy thing that should be treasured for being non-staining
true.
and providing something that
Is
you
it-
wouldn't believe how inspirational can be.
Is it for what I think it is? Like
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a sexual lubricant,
And then
and it's a
some.
quality
Alright.
one.
I
And
wasn't
then
sure if it's like
some.
for your board.
Yeah,
like
they've
your
given us
skateboard.
tubs of it. You
Yeah,
can
if you're
put it
bored.
in
Yeah,
Tubs
sure.
of it.
in like a rubber dragon appendage is a popular use for it now.
Can I get some? No, just
For sure. No, there's seriously
Yeah, you
like
got samples,
packets.
dog.
Yeah,
Dude, I'll
hit us up if you want some samples. Like, okay,
Hell yeah.
straight face, real sponsor. Hit me up if you want sponsor.
No,
if
Zip
you want
Fizz is
samples,
dope,
even.
though.
Zip Fizz is great.
Yeah.
Another thing that I
like
love
that.
after mixing Zip Fizz with alcohol irresponsibly that you're not supposed to do is Hangover Joe's. Hangover Joe's, I'll use it in place of 5 Hour a lot of times because it's got that B vitamin energy time. Man, it makes you feel Latin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hangover Joe's. That not only does it help a hangover tremendously, but if you don't have a hangover, you get like Latin feeling.
Like you can speak the language.
You feel like you can feel language out of the air, like a Latin person.
That's where all your inspirational words come from. Is this hangover?
Hangover
Joe's.
Joe's.
Pretty much.
Real talk
It's
has inspired
where-
a lot of stuff for me.
who
I
you
love
are.
it.
Yeah.
It tastes good too. It tastes better than 5 Hour. I can
Well,
easily
thank
say
God,
that.
'cause-
I'm a big 5 Hour fan, honestly. That's my favorite, like energy source.
Yeah,
So-
I remember.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're huge
little
on it.
nips like a gentleman.
Little nips.
Yeah, yeah. You
Little
get a
nips.
you get a
I
hangover
never know.
Joe's. You don't need the whole thing.
Take a nip.
Couple more in town if you're in Las Vegas. Strip and dip chicken. Their chicken's a perfect substrate for all their delicious sauces. They're
Really?
these perfect strips to just keep going right in the cup with you.
It just sounds good.
Strip and dip.
Strip and
Yeah,
dip.
they legit have like some of the best, just whatever their breading is, like
Whatever the fuck
perfect
that is.
chicken, man. Just
It's
perfect.
like sauce sponge.
Can't-
Is it better
yeah.
than Cane's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cane's
Yeah?
No problem.
Cane's is
Bro.
like a joke
What?
compared to strip and dip, dog.
I
I
love
like
Cane's.
Cane's a lot.
No,
Yeah,
I
no.
love Cane's.
Yeah,
Cane's.
but like,
I'm a
yeah.
Cane's fan.
Bro,
but no,
alright.
strip and dip poops all
Nah,
over him
yeah.
for breakfast.
Okay. Okay.
Like
I would-
legit, yeah.
Yeah, you can quote me on that.
I'm
Yeah.
just checking out strip and
Plus
dip.
the sauce variety, they have like some weird like wasabi cream sauce. That's fucking delicious.
Ziki?
Yeah, they have like all these crazy sauces too. They're legit, man.
So,
Just
I
go
love
do
how
it.
you can make sauces and people are like, "Whoa, you made a sauce!" Like
Yeah,
you
like
could
well,
have replaced sauce with so many words in what you
fucking
just said.
mayonnaise and habanero sauce. I don't know.
it's like,
mayonnaise
yeah,
and
I don't
this,
see you making sauces,
some pepper and some fucking
Come at
ranch.
me.
Like,
right?
Come at me.
Thousand Island.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys, Naked City Pizza though. Naked City
Pepperoni
Pizza.
cups.
Yeah, they got them cuppy pepperonis. Recently opened up in El Cortez, another place I love down on Fremont Street. South Fremont's a kicking it area. If you don't know where to bring your guests and buddies, just take them to Container Park and head down the
Fucking-
Fremont Experience.
Seriously though, you just walk down that bullshit.
Yeah, it's perfect.
street.
It's so
It's
fun.
got El Cortez, Triple P's.
I think it's way
Beauty
more
Bar,
fun
and
than going to the strip. Concentrated, cool local stuff. It feels safe. South Fremont, but the whole Fremont experience is great. But make sure you swing by that Naked City Pizza there in the Cortez. There's also one at Moondoggies, a sweet bar on the west side. And of course, speaking of things that make you Latin, not only is there Pinche's Tacos, which gives you a free Gringo Loco taco when you purchase a blood orange margarita.
I don't
Yes.
know how I feel about that.
Yeah, you
should
want
feel
both
great.
anyway. It's a coastal taco. It's got all the meats. It's bigger than a normal coastal taco too. You can just make a meal right there. You're good to
Crazy
go.
white guy.
Yeah, and
Taco.
you can even take your Latin ass on over to. I can say this because I'm half Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna be offended, dude.
For sure. There's just some lighty Puerto Ricans with that Spaniard blood. There's just not a lot of native in my Latin, unfortunately. So on that note,
I feel
Juan's
ya.
Flaming Cantina, Fajita, Juan's Flaming Fajita Cantina, Fajita, Cantina Fajita of Juan.
Avon.
He's a great guy. His flaming fajitas
Really?
make for a fine cantina.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, how many Mexicans does it take to screw in a light bulb? Can I see that?
Tell me.
Just
Not, well, I need to
one.
know.
Just one.
Just one.
Oh my
I like
God.
that one, dude. I'm sorry. I had to say that.
No,
Thank you. Thank you. I needed that. All right, go on.
you're getting a nickel.
No, that was a dime, bitch.
all right.
You guys, that's my commercial chug. I know
7.5 cents.
there's a few others. Check them out at radiovegas.rocks. When you need something, check there first because there might be a sponsor that can hook you up with it at a discount price by mentioning radiovegas.rocks. A great one now that's a new one is Emerald Essence. You know, you got the weed going on. There's a delivery service that shines among the others like a glimmering emerald. That's Emerald Essence. And this isn't copy I'm reading. This is my heart thoughts.
I know it is, dude. I'm listening.
I'm staring you in the eyes while I talk
I'm
about the
looking at
beauty.
'em.
When you're riding a Treyu over to the never-ending story, like the voyage of the Dawn Treader, the flight of the Navigator.
Like Scarface.
Yeah. Okay. You
Like, I
can't
just
go
saw the
there
poster.
without
Like Scarface.
Like
dude.
if Falco from the
Journey.
Neverending Story was Scarface.
this trailing blow through the sky.
Seb-
Falcor!
Sebastian, say
Falcor.
hello to my little friends.
I used to think it was like a corporation, like it's Falcor.
Inc. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It is now, yeah.
Emerald
that-
Essence, you
They make
guys.
cocaine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emerald, remember it's green, the essence of it. There's
Yeah.
rarely a business I've been able to remember the name of better than Emerald Essence. So if you don't remember Emerald Essence, then you should
Fuck you.
you gotta take some what are the things that the androgynous take some androgynous things because have a doctor look at you for
Yeah.
why you're not remembering Emerald Essence. Next time you need to call someone for some weed. Anyway.
Talladega Nights, dude. Talladega Nights. If you don't chew big red, then fuck you. All right, go on.
All right. So, as some people may or may not know, we've been
I know.
having the coral reefs aren't doing so good, right? We haven't.
We've grown up with the coral reefs being a tragic thingy.
Yeah, just like bleaching and they're dying off all over the place at a really fast
Looking
rate.
busted.
So sad.
Yeah. So, home dude, Dr. David Vaughn.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yo, shout out to Dr. David Vaughn, the homie. He discovered a way that makes coral grow, hold on, let me get this, 40 times faster than it normally does. Totally by accident. He was just working with some coral in the lab, of course, because all great discoveries are totally by accident.
I'm telling you.
And
Rubber.
he was like moving some coral in a tank or something, and he dropped it or some shit, and so it just fractured into a bunch of different pieces. But all of those little pieces grew hella fast. So I think the plan is to just go around and start busting up all the coral reefs.
Yeah.
And make him grow hella fast.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
That's a
Gary
good
Mike if you're
plan.
listening and have some insight on that. That's our local
Oh, yeah,
aquarium knowledge specialist. I know he would fracture coral manually with like a razor blade. I might be full of shit. I think that I heard this. Just into like 2 pieces. He was breeding it. Probably still is. And
Breeding coral reef.
but apparently you can cut them up way more, I guess. That's
Like
I
7
guess we just
times.
didn't want to be we wanted to be delicate with them, but it turns out they love it. They love it rough.
Apparently.
How
Yeah.
rough do you love it when you want to be disintegrated into a bunch of tiny pieces?
Right. Well, that's
how
kinda
you
like-
breed.
It's
Like starfish, like back in the day before they knew that like any part of a starfish could grow into a new starfish.
Oh yeah.
So they would just like get nets full of starfish and just like chop the shit out of them, and then just throw them back in the ocean, thinking
Oh,
they killed them
fuck.
all. It's
There,
like-
there was a bad like starfish infestation because of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's like there's too many starfish. Chop them up and throw them in there. Ta-da! A bunch of half starfish that's still alive eating
now
stuff.
there's way more of them, and they're all mutated and they're coming for your soul.
I remember
Damn.
Michigan was having a huge problem with this invasive like mollusk or clam or something.
Oh,
You
fuck.
guys, you're gonna be mad at
Clams,
me if you
dude?
know what I'm
No,
talking
didn't we?
about.
We had one here. It was
Clams go
like a
ham.
zebra.
Yes,
the
that's
zebra
the one I was
mollusk.
thinking,
Yeah,
yeah.
we had one here at like Hoover Dam.
Where it was brought in to solve one problem and then it took it over.
No,
or
I think it
something?
was totally accidental. It came in like
Oh.
on some dude's boat.
Wow.
And it just turned into an invasive species, and it's like, so it's smaller, and so it would get caught in these like pumps in Hoover Dam, and they just like build up and attach all over the shit.
It's fucked up.
Yikes.
And they don't have any predators here because they're not native to
Speaking
here.
of Hoover Dam, quick nugget. This might be worth looking into or watching this evolve or just being proud of us for calling this. But they're looking into turning Hoover Dam into a big battery, a hydroelectric battery that then pumps stored water up to then have the gravity make the electricity.
Oh,
But
That's amazing.
which at face value sounds like, oh, you're just going to
No.
refill that empty ass thing just manually. But I think there might be plans to kind of, usually when that's done, it's in like under some kind of storage where it doesn't just evaporate.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy where we're going. It's really unknown. And that's so stupid to say because we've always been there. But we really are. Like, we're coming out with these
There's some neat
glasses.
stuff to look out at. Yeah.
Google Glasses, you know, that's a thing. Like, there's a lot of secret technology that they're working on to
Well,
make
Google Glass
public.
was discontinued.
Yeah,
but
why? Why? You have
Because
the answer.
when you see someone with Google Glass,
You
you
get freaked out.
well, people tend to
This guy's a fucking creep.
yeah, they're just gonna wink and take pictures of me. And what are they looking at? Looking at my profile all sneaky. And you see, just there's this some kind of douche culture kind of got attached to that. Tragically, you're like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
I
weird.
guess some ones with that. But the Hololens, I think, is way more exciting. We could just have computer monitors just floating in front of you that you see wearing the Microsoft HoloLens.
So you're like RoboCop.
It's RoboCop.
Like
yeah.
Murphy. Cool. Fuck yeah. I'm down with that.
I like the idea of like augmented reality, where like you
Yeah.
could wear Google Glasses and then like
To be a busser.
ads,
But like whole lens, Google up the whole lens. That's how because you can't do augmented reality with the original Google Glass because it's a very tiny heads-up display. That's
Oh,
in the
yeah,
little
yeah,
display.
Guys, aren't we already doing like augmented reality right now? And then
For sure.
So why don't we already do it like again in this life?
Spoiler: the giant bug on my Instagram was just an AR demo. It wasn't a real
Whoa.
giant bug on my phone.
No,
and
but
then I got it on the monitor of one screen, and then I got my phone and phoned the monitor so I could add extra camera shake
Nice.
to make it more believable because that camera shake wouldn't have any of the correction of the AR then.
It's crazy. Like that kind of shit. Like, oh, there's correction, like automatic correction.
Yeah.
You know, for human error.
To do that in real time because it's motion tracking. So to do motion tracking in real time is crazy because it used to be just something you'd do in in post. The only people doing it in real time were doing the lines on the football field. That's the first commercial real-time motion tracking that I'm aware
No way.
of a graphic.
Because they had to make money, so they're like, hey, let's add this fucking dope-ass
Well,
idea.
that's a way to get money into AR is like get that football money for the
Augmented
military.
reality?
That military football
AR?
money. Well, it wasn't called AR in
Are
that
you calling it
application.
AR? That's a thing?
Yeah, AR is a
Whoa.
thing. That's an official term now, but that wasn't a term when they were putting the lines on the football field. Now the hockey puck has a trail behind it that they add digitally later.
So
and shit
these
like
games that they have right now, like the VR shit, that's not AR.
Well, if it's augmented reality, like your reality's in it, and that goes on top of it, that's AR. VR is only
You
if
know
it's immersive.
you're in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So like, AR is a kind of VR. It is virtual
It's more.
reality,
It's more.
or less. Some would say. Well,
Really?
AR is actually way easier to do.
Like
you
quantum
wouldn't think.
physics.
No,
It's there and it's not.
I thought AR was harder because of the motion tracking, but it turns out the math to spatialize something you're looking at and figure out and then map a grid over it and say, okay, this object goes on this grid here. That's easier math than trying to do the graphic visualization around you.
it.
And yeah, because you have to either
Yeah.
pre-render objects over here that you're not even looking at, or
And different
render
distance.
it in real time as you swoop over and look over there.
Yeah.
So either way, it's gnarly because to get like 4K is not enough for like the best, like the very optimum VR. You're still seeing a little bit of screen door,
Yeah.
and because it's just so far that 4K has to wrap around.
Like that Elon interview.
Yeah, and then
uh,
frame rate's an issue
They
too.
talked about something they're gonna release like this year or soon about like an AI thing, but it's a third thing to your brain. It's like you have your eyes and your brain, but they're gonna add a third layer, like you said, like.
Well, yeah, he
profiles and
feels
shit.
that we're going to interpret things like that, like another.
He
sense,
feels, yeah. He said he's like, we're gonna come out with it. I'm like, oh fuck, like we're ready.
Well,
but
he
I
did
don't think we're
creepily
ready.
hint at something, but
He did.
So did Microsoft about the HoloLens for like a decade before
Dude,
that
they've
came out.
got
so.
it. They've got it, and they're just waiting. They're like,
Well,
when can
HoloLens,
we?
they've got. You can buy a HoloLens right now, but it's like a developer thing, and it's
Yeah.
ridiculously expensive.
You don't want to do that. Like,
Yeah,
there's
you
like
don't want an
Google
early
lenses or-
adopter that. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want to buy Google
Actually,
glasses.
we should hope that everyone that has the money can early adopt that because that's what funds us getting the Playtime China version later.
Yeah, seriously though.
So anyway, frame rate's an issue too. That's
Frame
a whole
rate's
nother
a bitch.
for VR. That's what gets it laggy and barfy that we're still getting over. So we're getting
Barfy.
towards that last quarter though. I've got to get in that news chug attitude. Stop fiddling with this pen, drawing on my hand by accident.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm done with news, man.
Ew.
Done
Just
with
give
it?
it.
Is this the part where
Here's one that's breaking, as in we discovered it this week.
No, all right. This is an Ange pick, and I'm glad she grabbed this one because I saw it and just like skimmed past it. But it's a woman who was married to a 300-year-old ghost says they're breaking up.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Way to stand up for yourself.
Are you like excited? Do you think she feels empowered?
Yeah, I do. Femininity has been like amazing.
But wasn't it empowering for her to take charge of her life?
Like
by
fuck you, dude. You're
saying,
300 years old. I don't care.
I'm so self-sustaining. I can take care of myself so well that I'm sacrificing any option to put another living person in my life and just claiming this imaginary person that is going to have this role that's clearly part of my subconscious.
Schizophrenia.
That's schizophrenia used
know.
for empowerment. That's schizophrenia done right there.
Yeah,
I'm
hell
proud of
yeah.
that.
Dude,
If you can turn your schizophrenia into
Like Kanye.
a ghost relationship, yeah, exactly.
Like
Good job, Kanye.
Yeah, dude. Congrats. Jesus.
I would love to meet Kanye's spirit animal, like his invisible friend. Shake
Dude,
hands
the
with
voice
Kanye's
in his
invisible
head.
friend. The voice in his head has got to be like 2 or 3 people arguing all the
Hurry
time.
up with my damn croissants from this French ass restaurant. Like hell yeah, dude. I want to hear that spirit animal too.
So this woman is like, all right. So
She's real.
yeah, she's real. The ghost isn't, but
Do we know?
her name is Amanda Sparrow Large. But she goes by the last name of Teague, and she spent a lot of money to become a Jack Sparrow, Pirates of
Oh god.
the Caribbean impersonator.
Like Jack Sparrow specifically, not like
Yeah.
not like
Anybody
Pacifically
else?
some other
No, just
Pacific
Jack,
Nobody
Jack
else.
Sparrow.
Pacific pirate
Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the
or
Caribbean.
Atlantically, the Atlantically Jack Sparrow. Sorry.
Yeah. But she said she allegedly tied the knot with the spirit of a Haitian pirate who was executed in the 1700s for stealing on the high seas.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, but no, all right, so this is
Karma again.
the best.
Haitian though.
This
Ooh.
is the best quote. I told him I wasn't really cool with having casual sex with a spirit, and I wanted us to make a proper commitment to each other.
I've done that.
She said I wanted the big traditional wedding with the white dress. It was very important to me. Woman thinks she's gonna have a wedding with a ghost,
Dude,
like for real.
I've been there, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a new like reality show, like ghost weddings.
This
There's
wedding
gotta be more
sounds
than
like
one.
the cringiest
I
thing.
love it, dude. She's like, no, I'm not gonna marry you. I want it good. I want what I want, and you can't give me what I want, so I don't want you.
People be crying at this
She's
wedding for
telling
the
him.
wrong reasons.
I don't want you, dude.
People are gonna be crying at this wedding out of like, oh, I feel so bad for this ghost woman.
for the ghosts.
Yeah,
His
you're
grandpa's
definitely
gonna
a
show
ghost.
up.
Yo.
Feel bad
Yeah,
for that ghost.
just hilarious. I love
Oh,
stories like that. They
man.
crack me up. I mean,
You
I
think
guess if you really want attention, you know.
I was gonna say, like, could I make up a story and get attention like that?
If you really want
Probably,
attention,
yeah.
but then want to declare when you don't want attention, want
could
to
I
be
get-
left alone.
I want
Yeah,
money.
You
right.
want your own space.
Yeah,
you
you like want
space.
your own space, but that's just like a double fake cry for attention.
Double
Yeah.
fake.
Double fake
Not
news.
that we're calling her
Right.
double fake, but yeah,
Oh,
I guess
man.
totally. No, we are for sure.
I am.
Yeah, I was
All
trying
right,
to pad
fucking-
that one, but it is what it is.
All right, so briefly, like we were talking about anxiety earlier, but new research has discovered new molecular pathways, which could lead to new development. And I would delve into it, but I'm a little
Yeah.
too buzzy to like
I
go
think,
into it.
I think I heard about them finding a new like chemical in the brain that
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
have to do
Yeah, it's like a new
with
protein.
serotonin or dopamine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're gonna work on fluxing that bad boy, so we're totally fucked.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's one of those balancing acts where you change the level of something availability
And
of
then
one
cancer
chemical,
goes up.
and well, you have these other chemicals that are going to respond to that, and you can overcompensate and get a dependency, and like Adderall is a perfect example where
Yeah.
people compare it to methamphetamine because there's methamphetamine in it,
It's
but there's
amphetamine.
also regular amphetamine. Now, it's my understanding that there's two different amphetamines that do two different effects
There is.
that are in the amphetamine category in the brain, so it's relatively more balanced. But you still have that irritable come down time.
Yeah,
It's just way, you feel like you just have two things that are on par instead of just one fucking scrambling everything.
Yeah, yeah. I got it for my ADD this summer, and it made me irritable, and it worked, but it didn't. It made me pissed off.
That's why 5 hour, y'all.
Yeah, 5 hour
B
fuck
vitamins
Adderall,
in general.
dude.
B
Come
vitamins
on.
in general. If you can get her done with B vitamins rather than chemical stimulant,
Yeah.
that's a better move.
Yeah, for real.
B vitamins, I'm including caffeine. I have very similar
No.
problems with caffeine, which I love.
I love
but,
caffeine.
But B vitamins are a lot easier to regulate. And by regulate, I mean I
vitamin-
can abuse them easier.
If you do both, you're fucked.
Well, no, there's
Like, 'cause
both
for
in
real,
5 hour, but
B vitamins do you good. Like you're
B vitamins
buzzing.
are great. So when you treat them abusively, you are less risk than being abusive with caffeine or worse.
Yeah, true.
So there's like less of a risk for, because all of those I'm pretty sensitive to, and all of them I want too much of usually.
I got an
So-
espresso machine, and I was using it like 4
Oh,
times
God.
a day at one time.
Oh man,
I was like, dude, this is way too much caffeine.
I could never get an espresso machine and not have an ulcer.
Yeah. No, honestly, I'm on my way, dude.
Yeah, you guys,
I'm
ulcer
getting
party.
Actually,
Ulcers.
you could do it without getting an ulcer because some dude discovered this was a couple years ago that ulcers are caused by bacteria and not by the food you eat. And he even tested this because
Wow.
he found he isolated the bacteria, and so to prove that he was right, he just fucking drank it, and
Hell
then
yeah.
and then he developed ulcers.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dude, what a martyr.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have anything that kills that bacteria to unulcer from?
No.
I
but
think
he-
so. Yeah, I don't really remember, but
He
it did.
figured
It
it
did
out.
help develop like more treatment for ulcers. And there's like different types of ulcers, so that's not to say like you can't get an ulcer from something else, but
The
it seems
person-
largely caused by bacteria.
The person that invented the stomach pump was a similar rock star.
Yeah.
He drank a bunch of cocaine,
Hell yeah.
and then pumped it out of his own stomach before he died.
Damn.
I love that. I really do. You know, like
That's
people.
Just to show this is how if you do this in time.
Taking risk to like be a pioneer,
It's
man.
accidents, bro. You said it. Like the
That's not
best
an
things are
accident.
accidents. Yeah. Well,
He
you did
didn't
the
accidentally
cocaine.
drink lethal cocaine.
Oh my god! I
With,
fell
like,
into a.
I invented this. I'm suicidal suddenly, which
Yeah.
is a thing, I'm sure. But he had that stomach pump, so
Bro, but no, like, go outside and go to that show and go to that party you were invited to, whatever. Because just to be a yes man. It's so great because you'll invent the new cocaine or stomach pump.
well, it is fun to have
Either
a
one.
season in your life where you try to say yes to more things.
Yeah.
Obviously, that could be taken too far,
Yeah.
but it might be a valuable thing for some people. I had a good 6 months where I was trying that. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I had to learn to like wrangle at it, and that was not.
You get
That was
tired.
like a diet. I couldn't keep saying yes to everything.
You get tired, dude.
And you let people down because you overcommit to things. You have to cancel things.
I had to
You end up
cancel today
double
with
booking.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's no fun.
No, it's not. But, yeah.
This is fun though. News slices.
All right, this is a good one. So the CEO of Google was recently brought before the House committee and questioned on if Google like alters their searches and is purposefully doing like an anti-Republican
Yes.
politician bias, right?
Yeah.
And and the main thing it stems from because like if you search in Google Images the word idiot, you know who
Donald
pops
Trump.
up? Yeah.
Dude,
So-
SNL. Every fucking show ever. Democrats.
Right.
I've had that thought too. Sorry.
Yeah, so but like it was just really obvious that these guys who are asking this question don't know fucking anything about the internet
Yeah,
or smartphones or anything.
totally.
Why are they in charge of why are they like making decisions about this shit? Like these guys are asking, they're like, dude pulls out an iPhone and he's like goes on some rant. He's like, my 6-year-old granddaughter was or my young daughter was just playing on one of these games on a phone, and then a video of her grandpa popped up and he was cursing and like, why would that happen? And the guy's like, well, he's like, I don't know. Like it depends.
Why'd you have the video on there?
It depends like what programs are on the phone, and like that's a completely different company that makes that phone, and like
Yeah.
they just didn't understand anything and totally had their own preconceived notions about what they thought was happening already.
They're dinosaurs.
I have a note on that one person brought up this issue with the possibility of them interacting messing with like their search result, and the Google CEO brought up that there's several trillion of these like every day. There's not several trillion employee hours possible for anyone to look at any searches, not even a millionth of them. And not only that, but then another person once said, oh, well, that's stupid and distracting for the Google CEO to put it that way, because obviously this person meant there's something in the machine, the flaws in the machine, that it has some kind of bias, that they've somehow tweaked it to prefer search results in a certain way. And it's so ignorant of the fact that even that is like one of those things where the numbers of how much searching is going on makes that massively impractical.
It's
when
a machine that runs itself.
it has to be a neural net. It has to do this from this opaque way. Like, we can't see a thought.
People
There's
hate
these
Donald
connections
Trump.
in your brain and these like things that are wired in there that you can't reverse how that mesh happens. It's the same way with their search engines and like YouTube search results. It just gets a feeling of like a probability score that you're likely to watch this video based on all this other stuff you've watched. Or
Spotify.
that people that searched for this were happy when they found these.
Yeah.
So enough people were happy finding Trump when searching for idiot that Google thought that those things go together. It's just paying
Exactly, yeah.
attention, it's just watching behavior. You can't like tweak with that any more than you can like train a dog or train your kids. You can a little bit.
You can
but you
try.
can't just get them to do exactly what you want right away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, as much as I mention cat food and my phone picks it up, and you mention cat food on my Instagram, I'm not going to buy cat food because I don't have a cat, and it doesn't work.
Plus,
Yeah.
that's so much
Fuck you,
bandwidth. If your phone microphone was live, you would see it on your bill. audio is a dramatic amount of bandwidth
Yeah, I
to
would-
be sending messages back home
My
all the time.
data would be done
yeah,
in a day.
because it's already enough for you to be sending on. Because people think, okay,
But how does it do it?
your Google voice thing will get turned on all the time by accident and think you said, okay, Google, or you push the button or something, and you can go into this log and see all these chunks of conversation that your phone heard that's really creepy. But it wasn't randomly how that happened. Now, it's easy to get a virus or something that will do that, though, on the other hand.
Yeah. Fuck.
Anyway,
That's wild.
I hope that had some fun facts and also some stuff that's wrong that you have to Google and correct me on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but how do you know what your Google could just be fucking with you, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
Google is
I'm saying.
democratic and it's pushing it. No. But for real, I thought that about SNL, you know, all the jokes about Donald Trump. Like, all
Yeah.
right, there's two sides, obviously, the Russia side and the fucking Hillary
But
Clinton
who
side.
remembers Clinton on SNL, you know?
Who?
Yeah,
I
but
think-
like any president, that's like SNL's thing. Is like
Yeah.
whoever is the
Yeah.
president, you're getting made fun of. Like that's just
Obama was made
Yeah,
fun
true,
of. He
true,
was in
true,
a
true.
way better light in SNL, and I agree that there's
Yes.
like an inadvertent Democratic slant to SNL.
They're slamming him,
and there's,
bro.
There's a Democratic slant to a lot of Southern California and a lot of Hollywood, but they still, I feel like they felt guilty about it with the eye patch guy. And had an apology thing about that, had him on the show. And I think SNL is trying to be less biased. I think there's an intention for it to not have that slant and to be inclusive
That's
and make
good.
fun of everyone equally, because that's like the comedian, like,
It should be that way.
desire. Comedians and journalists, I think, both desire to be impartial, but they get fed up too.
Dude, like, I can
And
only
that's the
read so
thing.
many Donald Trump jokes or news articles.
How can we have such a scandalous office, such a scandalous presidency, and think that there wouldn't be strong biases? This is a
I don't get the
divisive
narrative,
presidency
bro.
that's supposed to bring out people's biases.
If it's controlled, I don't get the fucking narrative because like the conspiracy ends there. There is no narrative to be had.
And
It's
there's so many
chaos.
conspiracies that we're like aware of. That's like,
Yeah.
how can our government bungle so many conspiracies and like keep something like that?
Yeah,
keep some of these
they're so
conspiracies.
pro at one.
Yeah,
but
they're really good at hiding that moon landing when there's been so
dude,
much shit. they've
the
bungled up.
machine is running itself, and we're fucking tripping. You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
absolutely machines running themselves right now
Like
with our search
taxi.
algorithms, with there's sentencing software that people use to find out if someone's likely to be a repeat offender to save tax dollars and run a more efficient police force and city government. And these sentencing softwares have learned biases that are in the people that are making the arrests.
4chan.
So
Oh, no.
there's an issue with sentencing software deciding that two people with the same crime they've committed with the same backstory, the black one is going to be more likely a higher recidivism
Mm-hmm.
rate, and that person should go to jail, and the white person should be put on parole.
That's
And it's
bullshit.
baked into how it's responding and telling good people that aren't racist how to do their sentencing. And they think, oh, it caught some other factor about where they grew
No,
up or,
people
or
are
something.
racist, yeah.
But what it is that they just, because that person's black, they're more likely to get picked up by the cop in the first place, which affects the statistics that the algorithm's working on.
Yeah.
So it's a feedback loop of racism then.
dude, the feedback loop blows my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Anyway,
Anyway.
pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
well,
Anyway.
watch out for that shit.
Facebook loop.
The old Zuck.
Cuck suck.
Can't
Yeah.
cook the Zuck.
No.
Oh, this is okay. This
Hey,
is
Dennis,
one
don't be
of
talking shit, my lizard boy. That's my lizard kid. That's my buddy. My lizard buddy. Come on.
this is one of yours, Waz.
Oh,
The woman who apparently got mocked for naming her kid Absidy, spelled ABCDE.
Oh no.
oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
actually one I put tangentially onto one that Ange Kerfoot found that
Oh, okay.
referenced the Absidy one as an older article. But this woman, she gave this child 3 first names, and they're very dramatic. And one of them is Senator. So there's senators in there. Can you see the name that this person got? And what really got the mockery on this person is how adamant they were to defend this name while people brought up some very good points. But also it's great is people got legit mad at this person as like a child abuser.
Yeah.
Like you're abusing this child, demanding that people call them by 3 names and just for their first name and can't abbreviate, no proper nickname for any
Dude,
of
there's
this
some
that you
weird
allow.
names.
And you're going to be all pompous about the nickname availability and stuff.
There's some stupid ones, and then there's some other stupid ones that aren't as stupid. But like my buddy at work is named Cash. I'm like, what a weird name, but not really. Not really, you know. Absidy is pretty dope.
When you say it that
It's-
way, it's cool. When
it's
you see it as
avant-garde.
A, B, C, D, E, you're like,
Yeah, I read that, and I read it as ABCD.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't even read it as Absidy.
Absidy is beautiful.
Now I like
though.
it.
I'm
Okay.
like, my daughter is my son is being named Absidy.
It should be Absidy
Obsidian.
with all the vowels put in there, like A, B, S, I, D, E, Y.
Yeah.
It's like an
I'm just gonna
abscess.
add a V.
AYBE.
I'm gonna make it
DI.
Russian, that's for sure. They're gonna
Abscessy.
make sure of that.
I shouldn't be saying abscess. Make you guys think about abscesses. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep pinky closing all my notes on accident.
That
terrible.
pinky clothes. That's that surface life.
God damn, man, the fucking.
Yeah, you guys,
Surface.
we got a retro tech right here. The Surface Pro 1, the first Surface Pro, which is hilarious. That's like retro now because it's like, it was.
Still not retro.
Well, it is a tablet that has a fan in it, so that would make it
Oh my
retro.
God.
But its face value holds up pretty good. It's getting the job done. We
You
ain't
think-
throwing it out for eating crackers.
You think when everything crumbles, we'll be able to like use our computers? By,
No,
like,
not for very long.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, we need to find chargers.
I hate
and we need
this
to-
when everything crumbles. Can't we have a little redundancy?
Why not?
I'm assuming that there's
It's got
going to
to,
be.
right?
Not if you. Well, okay. How often does the hydraulic system crumble on a plane? We
Okay.
don't even know how often us in the
How
public,
many years have
because
we been living?
There's
We don't even
three
know.
hydraulic systems in the plane.
You're true.
So you can have two of them crumble every day.
Correct. Correct.
So
and
we
we're still
literally
limping
don't
on.
know. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
maybe some of it's public. I don't know. But
Bro.
a lot of the repair documents, we don't know how much they're fudging them. Those planes could be falling apart all over, but they're built redundantly. And I feel like that's what our infrastructure needs, and that's why we need to be a multi-planet species. So there.
Whoa. Damn. That's why we need to be a multi-planet species.
Mallow,
That's
you're like,
I agree.
you're over all these mic drops. Let's get to
Jesus.
some
I like
details, right?
that.
No, I agree. But I also am skeptical of that. But,
What?
you know, it's a possibility.
I think we can clean up this planet and make a spare one, and just
Make
obviously
a spare one?
we got to do both. We can't just pick one of those two things, because we could clean the fuck out of this planet and still have something out there, a rogue planet, fucking bump into us. We didn't have any warning about or whatever that cigarette-shaped asteroid is.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, yeah.
Amama Luau.
Muma.
Amua.
Yeah, something like that.
I think that last one was right. I'm not going to try
Mua.
again.
Close enough. Yeah, something
Mumu.
like that. Amalma.
That Momo rock coming over here.
Muma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
I like
it's a giant.
calling it the sound Raiden makes in Mortal Kombat.
What's that?
When he does
I like
this,
that
like,
too.
is that when he like dives across the
When he
screen?
Yeah.
flies at you, bounces
You
off
gotta
you, and
put
tucks
both
into a
fists.
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But he starts with the grabbing the lightning. There's the and then he goes sideways, and
Yeah,
he
Mortal
completely
Kombat.
sideways all of a sudden.
I dig
Yo, you
it.
guys remember that movie?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah,
Oh, it
absolutely.
doesn't hold up,
I
man.
remember both of them.
Yeah.
The second one
terrible.
had like this baby-faced kid Raiden. It drove me nuts.
Yeah.
What's this young gray-haired Raiden? Who cast
It was.
this?
It was.
Raiden
Oh no.
looked
The
like-
first one was the dude who was in Highlander.
What?
Yo, man. Highlander. There can be only one.
The
Fucking A,
second
dude.
Mortal Kombat
It was terrible.
was one of the most awkwardly bad things I've seen ever.
But I-
try to take itself seriously.
As a kid, I was so into it though, because you're like Mortal Kombat, like you can kill people.
Well, you
But
know
the
what trips me
video-
out? It was the first movie that I saw that way. I was young enough that when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, I had high hopes. I was stoked on the first one. I still think the first one's great because I haven't seen it since, and I don't want to ruin that lens on it. So the second one, I was like, wow. I'd grown up a little bit more. I was like a teenager then. And I think it was one of the first movies that I was disillusioned by. I was jaded
Yeah,
by.
totally.
Was genuinely disappointed by.
Disappointed.
Everyone else knew better than to be disappointed by it. I
Right,
had like
right,
actual
yeah.
stars.
I
You
remember
like
the-
as a kid, you hadn't got to that
Yeah.
point yet. Yeah.
That was the breaking
remember-
point. Was that movie for me?
Like the breaking point for me, I remember that's funny, like that moment where you lose all hope. I remember just looking out a window and sighing. In the car driving. My grandma was in the front seat, my mom was driving, and I just looked out and sighed, and I was like, I'm depressed.
Oh my God, I remember that moment too.
What's yours? McDonald's?
No.
Playground?
I love. Don't talk to me
I
about
love both.
McDonald's. Man.
McDonald's
I
playground
was
and stuff.
I was listening to Soundgarden, Down on the Upside, the album.
Dude, yes, it's in my
and
car.
I was like in middle school, and I was lighting an incense with a candle, and staring at the candle.
As
And
one
I
does.
started crying a little bit. And I was like, my room was dark. And my parents came in. They're like, "What's wrong?" And I was like,
my hand.
"I don't know. I'm just like, I'm just feeling feely. I'm just feeling."
Chris Cornell. Why
Yeah.
did you get murdered?
Yeah. This one's for.
Yeah.
We're holding hands for the audio listeners, and it was a moment.
It was a moment.
Man. It's so sad, dude. Down the upside, like Chris Cornell. Anyways, just that second. That's all I needed.
I'm staying silent before I go on some like
Yeah. Get it on.
analysis.
Right.
So yeah.
All right.
We've got only 8 minutes left in the hour to
So I
get as much news.
I was telling Wallace about this earlier, but I kind of want to do a media recommendation of like one of the best shows I've seen in a minute.
Oh yeah, this segues to something we were talking about earlier.
It's on Netflix. It was originally on Sci-Fi. It's called Happy! Exclamation point. All right.
Important.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But so it stars this dude who was on what the fuck was that show that has like SVU? It's like that crime show, like the cop show.
CSI.
No, but it was before CSI.
Letters.
No.
Okay.
It was one of those. I can't remember what it is now.
X-Files?
No.
Just kidding.
But anyway, it's this dude, and like in it, he plays an ex-detective who just like saw too much shit, totally disillusioned in life, thinks the world is a pile of shit.
Hooked on pain pills.
No, he's an alcoholic. He's just the
okay,
classic
there you go.
alcoholic.
There you go.
Does some drugs here and there.
There you go.
But he's ex-detective turned hitman, right? Oh fuck. Yeah. So really fucked up. So the opening of the show is great, and it's got this like hyper realism feel, like the Scrubs and Ally McBeal started, where it's like you kind of delve into their imagination at points, and it's really
Yeah.
like a blurred line. But so in like the first episode, halfway through, all this crazy shit happens. He kills some people. It's pretty violent too. And then he's just like in this ambulance because he just like did a hit on these dudes and had a heart attack after he killed all these dudes.
What a bit. No,
Right? Yeah, right? So he's in this ambulance, and then all of a sudden, this like floating little cute ass blue unicorn with wings is like flying in front of him. And he's like, "Hey, I'm happy, and you have to help me rescue this little girl." And he's like in the ambulance high on morphine. He's like, "All right, I'm officially hallucinating." And he's like, and he's like, "I'm an imaginary friend." And he's like, "I don't have any imaginary friends." And he's like, "No, I'm an imaginary friend. I'm not your imaginary friend." And he's like, "And you have to help me rescue this little girl." So it turns into this really like detective noir, like hard-boiled detective, like buddy cop, where it's this dude with a little cute imaginary friend.
It's like The Rock in the Tooth Fairy movie, but better.
Yeah, it's way, but it's like so fucking violent and so weird, and like
It's polarizing. There's
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
cute thing and a violence
yeah.
to it.
Good
And,
contrast.
Yeah, it's a really good contrast. And like, but there's all these like weird little touches. Like, there's these weird like, anytime there's like anything related with sex, like the person is usually dressed up as like a ridiculous animal.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where like Fred Armisen is in a lobster costume getting a blowjob from a prostitute.
Nice.
It's like fucking weird, man.
The best
But,
about that is a joint and a claw hammer.
yeah, he has like a hammer, and then the claw of the hammer. He's like
Holding a
getting a
joint.
blowjob, and he's like smoking a joint from a hammer, and he's like just going on like
That's a fat joint,
Of all
dude.
things,
yeah,
the whole
like,
joint.
and, like just like going off
Kills
on
me
like
so much.
Fat joint.
some like philosophical discussion or something, and the chick's like, "Can you just hurry up? Like I have another appointment." And he's like, "Yeah," and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Fred Armisen, so he's like doing this weird like mumble thing, you know? It's crazy ass show, but if you like detective, like that kind of like hard boiled detective where the dude just like gets the shit beat out of him all the time and still is like trying to crack the case.
Yeah.
Like you'll fucking love
He's
it.
like defeated the whole time until the last.
Yeah, like
episode.
he's like walking around in public and he's just got blood all over
Shamed.
him and shit. Yeah, like hasn't shaved, is like constantly drunk and shit and like talking to an imaginary unicorn. It's fucking great. Just one of the best
Yeah,
shows.
it sounds like it's gonna stay funner than Wilbur.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
Just
yeah,
got-
it's not.
I liked it first, and they got too sad.
Yeah. Wilbur was really like kind of depressing. This isn't that. This is like just a lot of crazy action and crazy fight scenes. So if you like,
crazy imagination too.
yeah.
Like plot twists and shit.
Yeah, you described
Yeah.
it like
Cool.
Scrubs, where it's like
Yeah, because you know in
hanging
Scrubs how like it goes into like the main character's imagination at points,
Kind of
you know?
surreal. You had like a
Yeah.
term for that. That's like the
Yeah,
real
I
term
was
for
won-
that.
I was gonna ask you.
Hyperrealism.
Hyperrealism.
Yeah.
Hyper-realism.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
I
because
learned-
it was based
yeah.
off a graphic novel, I think it was Frank Miller even was part of it.
Wow. Wait, who do I know Frank Miller from?
Because he did Sin City.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big
Um,
dude. No.
He's big. I don't know if he's...
Big
No,
in
no,
comics.
he's like a big.
Oh, the dude in...
Burly dude. No.
Marv.
I'm wrong. Fuck me.
Well, we know him
I
for
don't
his writing. I don't know what he looks
Okay,
like.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. He's a writer. Okay.
I
Wrong.
don't think he's gigantic.
Wrong. He's an
But one of the
actor,
dudes
though.
in Sin City was gigantic.
He's a girl.
He was a big dude.
Yeah, Frank Miller is actually one.
Oh my
But
god.
Hey,
yeah,
hey.
anyway.
As
okay.
of last
Happy.
summer,
Watch it. Yeah.
get updated. Anyways, yeah,
But
watch it.
it's about the content she has created that we're excited about.
Yes, no matter what,
Watch it, binge it. Yeah.
do it.
That'd be awful if that became a rumor. They said
Oh, God.
Nothing about you. Like, where did this rumor come
This
from?
is what you get famous
Oh,
off
it'd be
of.
such an honor.
You're welcome, Frank Miller.
You guys, we're casting for our Olive Garden Shave Club commercial.
Francine Miller.
I'm gonna save tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna shave. We're gonna grab our breadstick handled shaving implementation. Gonna smear on that Alfredo sauce.
Yeah.
Get that Olive
Gives the
Garden
closest
close.
shave
That's right.
you've ever had.
Got these scented olives. You pop a little olive on you. Get that shaving
That's
olive.
what Chris
juice on
Cornell
you.
did
The
every
aftershave
day.
olive.
Yeah.
Before every show.
No.
Yeah.
He stopped. He unsubscribed to Olive Garden Shaving Club.
Oh my god, then he died. Dude.
I think we're onto something, boys.
All right,
We gotta
let's
dig
let
deeper.
that boil.
Hey, Chris Cornell fans, don't be butthurt. We love him. That's why we're bringing him up.
No, honestly,
People
no.
can't die if you keep having them in fun scenarios.
You keep thinking about them
Yeah.
and bring them up.
Yeah, we're not making fun of him. It's cool to be an Olive Garden
That's
Shave
a
Club.
serious note, though.
That's right. Serious. We're serious about honoring his memory, and don't think that we're honoring it any less when we want to share with you the valuable products that Olive Garden Shave Club has to offer. The new salon section at the entryway.
Yeah.
You can.
There's sounds in the garden.
There's sound in the garden. It's the Garden of Olives. Oh, what a co-sponsorship opportunity! Beautiful. Grab Kim Thale.
Yeah.
Kim Thale. Kimmy, come on! It's Olive Garden Shave Club. Come on.
Come on the show, dude.
Yeah, it's a garden. It's a literal garden of
It's
olives.
open.
It's
Open
a building
olive
that you
garden.
go inside that you think about gardens and
Breadsticks.
get your personal grooming handled while you share a delicious Italian meal. It's like getting shaved up in the old country. Unlimited Parmesan,
It's exactly like that.
just handfuls of Parmesan just put in your mouth. While you
That's the best, man.
Getting your due.
It's really the best part of it. Just
That's right.
all the free Parmesan. I mean, it's not really free. It's baked into the subscription fee,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
you
you,
know,
gotta pay for
you
it
know.
nicely. It's like, yeah.
I mean, you guys get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Love it. I love it.
Subscribe. to
Like a
things before.
girlfriend. That's all the guys at work would say. I'm
right.
sorry, I'm like totally alpha male.
Last minute final notes.
Whoa.
That's right. Sorry.
That's it. That was it. No, I'm just joking. Virgin, space virgins.
Yeah,
No.
Virgin Galactic.
Yeah.
Branson's finally got his thing up in space.
Yeah.
It took a while, and he wasn't as public about all the testing as some of the other ones, but nowhere near as hidden as Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin. That's a black box. We don't know where that's going, but he's had some recent tests, and now it's got the fire under old Branson. So Branson and Virgin Galactic have got their space plane ready to take tourists up at the edge of space.
That's what I'm saying,
Getting
dude.
close. Flight tests, first space tests happen.
He
so
wasn't
space tourism
public.
coming.
That's so cool. That
Yeah.
he's doing it undercover. He's dropping that fucking space plane release. You know
Which
what
is
I mean? He's
also
dropping that
tough
album.
when you're Branson. He's a very
Yeah.
public dude. But then so is Bezos, and Bezos is really keeping under wraps for the Amazon Blue Origin plane.
For that drop.
It's not Amazon branded Blue Origin. Anyway, so tune into Brian's stuff. Follow his Instagram.
Null void art. Null void art.
Yeah.
Do it.
Thank you guys.
Wow.
We will find you.
Pig.
Please. Wax pig melting.
Cover your face in Alfredo sauce.
Please tell your friends about Olive
Shave
Garden
you.
Shave Club.
Against your will.
We can't shave you. Only
You.
Olive Garden, only the old country can shave you.
For a price.
If you want it done right, you know.
Oh, I wonder where that recording cut off. That is 8. No, don't talk shizzle yet, because the video streams are still going.
Yeah, it is. Is this it? do it. Yo, this motherfucker. Yo, let me tell you about this motherfucker.
That was fun.
Yeah,
It
man.
for like 2 hours.
No, it flies.